demolition. It was desolate, but I had premonition. I was training for war, every exhibition, every extra mission, every enemy listening. Get off my dick, I got bad intentions. Make it right every wrong, and I'm back with a vengeance. I show you the ropes. Peace in my town, I can show you the coast. Up in the shots if they wanted to smoke. If you know, then you know. Suited up, bitch, my whole team do the same. Don't you forget who created the game.
Hello? Are we there? Okay. The tape has been pulled off of my mouth and I can finally introduce you to round 4 of the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series from Laguna, Seca for Split Blue and Split Red. My name is Alexis Bowen, who has been freshly released from the dungeons, I suppose. George Cook is still left down there, unfortunately. Can't make it tonight, but we do have, presumably not from the cockpit of a car, Mia Rose here tonight with us. How are you, Mia?
I'm very well. I'm so happy that I'm not driving this sand bowl of a track tonight. Happy that I'm not wanting to cosplay Dakar for the next hour and a bit, but I'm here to put my voice over what will be a very dusty 2 races tonight.
Yes, it certainly will. And looking on with Chris Murphy, we've got 9 minutes left in this qualifying session. He's been doing a pretty solid job there in the silver class. Final four now. It does have a little bit of traffic ahead, but we'll see what the initial lap times are. Bettiger for 24.1. Murphy comes across with a 24.1 as well, but it's faster than what Bettiger was able to do. So it's P1 for Chris Murphy for the moment.
Interesting part here too. It is a green track. This track is as dusty as the outfield itself at the moment. So a lot of these times are going to drop as we go through the session. You can see their Pro-Am car of Burton is under 23.9. So This track's gonna rubber up. I don't know how quick it's gonna rubber up, but it's gonna rubber up during this qualifying session. And gotta remember as well, we have two very short, fast-paced qualifying sessions tonight. We've got a 12-minute session for the first race. No reverse top 10 at all for the second race. It is an 8-minute second qualifying for race 2. It is literally go out there and hope to God that you have some space to get going. But at the moment, see, Vedica's just on the Delta, and then we switch to Potter here. He's already nearly a second up on his time, so he's probably going to get pole here in a second. But going off what we've seen so far, practice was cloudy and green. Could we have rain tonight? Could we have a little bit of wetness on the track? Make a bit of mud on the outside of the track. Come the two races tonight.
Yeah, rain in what seems to be a desert would certainly be interesting, but we'll have to see what happens. That's very deep into the final corner from Potter. That's going to lose him a bunch of time, and that's going to ruin any opportunity he had to take provisional P1 for the moment, but does move up to P3. Reynolds now sitting in P2. Here comes Bracken up to the line now. Moves up into what is P7. Look at how tight that is.
Very tight when the track has got literally no rubber on it, so everyone's just sort of holding on to dear life around this track. And back to Vedica, he's about 3.5 tenths up, make that 4 as he comes up the hill to the corkscrew. And the line he takes, beautiful line, bit of curb on the braking as well. Pretty good line down the corkscrew. Slow Ferrari there to avoid, but gets past it.
That was Perkins who was pulled off to the side, but this has been a pretty clean lap from Vedica so far through the final few corners. Can be very, very tricky to get these right. It's very deceptive. Gets the braking pretty well. Keeps the delta nice, and that should be 5 tenths to the good into P1 for Vedica. And there you go, a 23.3. So this track is really ramping up.
I wonder if anyone else is improving. Murphy just comes across the line now. I don't think he improved. Reynolds comes across the line. He improves to P3, but barely though. Got number 2, Vedica and Reynolds there. P1 and P3 in the championship. On myself and P2. So with me missing this round, I'm taking my drop round straight away. Probably the best track to take your drop round at, to be honest with me here. But we've got Bracken who's gone up to P2. Oh, that's not the steering input nor the line there, Murphy.
Can't park there.
As we switch to what is honestly a better livery than Ansett Airlines is the leopard print of Pit Vibe Motorsports. Sean Brimwickham, he's down on his time at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's having so much fun in that thing, because it's a interesting car, that Mustang.
It very much is. We're talking about airlines. That purple seems to remind me of the ill-fated Bonza. As now we look at Bracket in what is has the word fly on it, so the jokes are writing themselves.
We go from Ansett to Bonza to just fly.
Yep.
We need a third book of puns to open up here. We've got the trifecta. All right, we've already.
Oh,
damn! And that was Lewis too. That's going to be a grid penalty, I'd say, for that one.
That was the opposite of funny.
That was yeah, Ferrari strategist maybe. No, I think that's too early in the night. As Burton goes P2, that gap to Vedica is closing. As we go to Pat Oliver here, I think he's the one that's going to be leading the Lambo charge tonight.
Yeah, well, so far he's sitting in P3 and doing a fairly reasonable job. Did lose a fair bit of time just getting onto the dust on the outside there, so I don't think this lap will be an improvement for him, but he should have time for a couple more attempts. Here is what happened. It was a little bit deep into the corkscrew for Bracken, and then, oh no.
Yeah, I could see what Lewis was trying to do, but in that situation, he really should have just held his brakes and wait instead of trying to get off the track there, because that was going to end. It was going to end in in one way and it ended that way. So that'll be probably a 2-place grid drop for him, sadly.
Even a 2-place grid drop wouldn't be fit for the crime, I think.
We'll see what the stewards would say. It will be a grid drop, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's going to be a grid drop. It just depends on the circumstances beforehand. If it was a proper spin out and it just forgot to hold the brakes, or whether that was an actual rejoin onto the track.
Cut it to Ash Reynolds. And yeah, that's a lot of different TC routes here with the Mustang tonight. We've seen TC1 on only for one car, and I think Sean was 3 and 9, and Reynolds here is at 4 and 11. So there it is. What is he?
2 and 9.
2 and 9. So yeah, and then we've got Convoy. He's 2 and 11. So a lot of different TC strategies going on here. What I say though, we go back to Convoy's plate. That's probably the best looking Mustang here, bar the Pit Viper car. As
Look at that, it's beautiful, beautiful. And Convoy's finding a little bit of time here. Let's just get a little bit deep now. Vedica's having to negotiate a lot of traffic through the far few corners. Comes up, oh, it's maybe a touch deep into the final corner. It's going to lose him a bit of time on the exit, but it's still going to be improvement. Not quite into the 22s, but furthers his advantage up front over Ellis, who is now P2.
yeah, I don't think Ellis should be. I don't think Ellis is going to be M class any much more.
Ellis
I think
is
he's
silver, I believe.
okay. So he hasn't submitted his livery, hence, or hadn't submitted a livery, hence why he's still class as M. But yeah, I think he's going to have a class promotion soon. I'd say he's been pretty pacey since the start of the season.
I mean, Brimblecoop has clearly submitted a livery, but is an AM class on the entry list, so yeah, I think there's just a few class errors.
Yeah.
Watch on with Lewis, who we expect to get some kind of penalty. That's a big loss of time through the third last corner. He's going to have one more go at it.
He just got that inside curve and then someone was going off in front as well. It's probably distracting a bit, but we go to Reynolds here. He's 2 tenths up. Oh, he gets a slow Bentley. But he's going to struggle here to gain a position, I'd say. Or he's a tenth up. He might get Lewis. Across the line he comes. Gets Lewis, P6, but he's 6 tenths off pole. He's 2 tenths off P2, but 6 tenths off pole. As we go to Bracken here, he's just on a tenth up into the corkscrew. As he goes pretty deep.
He did that last time we saw him as well. I don't think he's going to have time for one more lap, so this is going to be it for Bracken. Oh, it's wide again. There's no improvement here, I don't think, unless he gets a really good run out of the final corner. Just made a few too many mistakes under Bracken. And I say he's going to be P5 at best, but the ones behind are going to be improving like mad.
Yeah, but speaking of, Ellis is 3.5 tenths up into the last corner. Delta's going to play games a tiny bit, but he's going to be up still. He's not going to get pole, but he's going to be goddamn close to it. 0.095. Close, but no cigar there for Ellis. And Reynolds is on it. Oh, and he loses it too. He was 3 tenths up before that, and he was just on it. Vedica though, another Coke scheme. This one looks so good. He's a 10.5 up. Probably gets him 2 places, I'd say. Maybe 3 now. He's gained even more time.
Yeah, it's been a good run through the final corner. Does lose a little bit on the exit, but it shouldn't hurt him too much. Up 3 tenths per second and up to P18. Nicely done.
That is beautifully done there by Vedica. Coke Zero livery on, and Hordsborough calls it there, and that is it for qualifying. And there's the race! I am so happy I'm not doing this race. Wow.
You said it. You said that there could be a chance of rain given that the track was green in qualifying. Did you actually think it was going to happen?
There was my brain was thinking 50-50 because like if it was cloudy and green at the start of the session and then it was green again for qualifying, it had to rain. You know, there was going to be a good chance, and we'll go through the grid here and
Oh, that Honda of Burton is beautiful. The OMP livery. See
I
all
think
the
Reynolds
beautiful
is-
cars and Bendick.
I think Reynolds is going to be not liking himself after that qualifying because Kieran Potter beat him as the fastest Mustang.
He'll be a man on a mission. He will. Yeah. Again, looking at some of these just stunning liveries that I can't get over how good that Pixel Racers Mustang looks. That livery just pops.
It looks the goods, and then you look at a livery that looks great even though it's got nothing following the car's lines.
Yeah.
But then speaking of, there's a Coke livery, and that looks just great. The way the white swoop goes across the paint, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely. The way it follows the contours of the car is just, yep. Again, it's some really, really expert design by the many livery designers that frequent the community.
There's the
Oh,
PlayStation Audi. I think that's based off the one in GT4 or 5. I think it's GT4.
Well, there you go. And then we get a disaster.
No, this is good. This is good.
No.
If we get rid of our Aussiness for a second, that livery does look good. All right,
So basically, if you lack the brain.
Oh, I'm looking at this forecast here, Alexis. This is interesting. It's gonna be a wet start, but it's gonna dry out. There is no pit stop in this race. This is a 20-minute race, so you've got to gamble on.
Oh.
Do you take wets and hope it stays wet, or do you take dries and hope, dear to God, it dries out quickly? But with how high that ambient is, it might be close between the two, I'd say.
It is only a 20-minute race, but still, it all depends on when that rain ends up. Like, if it ends with only, like, say, like 15 minutes to go, then it could be a race that involves a pit stop for some of these drivers.
Yeah, this is going to be... I would say that if you've selected the dries, you better hope and pray to God that it stops raining on the formation lap for you to get those tyres in. But if I would like it, I'd love our resident broadcaster here to look through the cars with what tyres they have on, because this is going to be quite interesting looking at it. So Reynolds is on the drive.
Oh, Reynolds.
Okay. Oi. I want to see what from Josh Medica down have. Josh Medica dries. Wet. Oh, here we go. So wet for Ellis, wet for Potter, wet for Burton, dry for Pat Oliver. And what does Bracket have? Bracket's got wet. This is split.
Wait.
Split. There is no decisive decision here. Bendix is on wet. Johnson is on wet. What about Murphy? He's on wet too. What about Lewis? He's on dry and he's been given a grid drop. 2 grid drop for him. Convoy is on the wets too.
Oh boy. Well, this is going to be interesting. The wets are going to be better, definitely for the first 5 minutes of this race at least. But the dries will come into there. It's just where they suffer in the colder conditions. But it's going to be one hell of an exciting adventure this first race. Oh my lord. How much death do you reckon there's going to be at turn 1?
Oh, this is... You know, if they all survive the first half of the lap without not many big wrecks, I'll be very proud with these guys, with these drivers out here tonight. We're going to come around the last corner here. They're all going to form up 2 by 2 across the grid boxes. Get ready for an interesting first race of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. The red lights are on. We're about to go green right now. And there go Ellis gets the jump. Potter nearly jumps into Vatican there off the start. Burton 2's going to get a great start. There's still 2 by 2. Ellis is going to clear the field into turn 1. I think that shows between the dries and the wets, and they're nearly 3-4 wide at the back. They're going to get through turn 1 beautifully. Vatican still keeps P2, but Ellis streaks away. Potter's looking. Burton up the inside of Oliver. He's going to get that place. Bracken probably going to have a look too. Reynolds is dropping down the field here. Bracken and Bendick are now going to get past Oliver too. So Oliver, don't forget, he's on the dries. And Ellis is streaked away. He's gone.
Wow, what a start. That was very well executed there by Split Boy. There are a few drivers that have dropped to the back 26, and that's the 454 as well. They're all getting through nicely. That's Johnston trying to get up the inside there of Reynolds, who, as you said, is dropping like a stone out there right now. As we look at them coming through the corkscrew, it is Ellis. Potter, oh dear, you can see Vedica getting a bit loose coming out of there. They're all trying to negotiate it, and they're doing a pretty good job as well. Look at Payne up quite a few positions. Now here's Johnston trying to get through on Reynolds, but can't do it at the minute.
Got one backwards, and I think that is Brimwell out the back. He was off the track. There's another car off too.
That 323 is Payne, the Holden livery.
Blue Mustang's off, but you can see here, this is for P9. This is how far Reynolds has dropped. And he's going to lose even more as he loses the rear of that car. But at the front, Oliver goes deep. Bendick, and Murphy's going to... Oh, that was interesting there between Murphy and Bendick, but they keep going.
Bendick's up to 6.
It is still raining, so... Oh, look at this chaos here. Reynolds has dropped back even more.
Oh no, and Bendick has been spun around by Johnston.
And he's going to return back on the track, and it's going to cause mayhem. But they all get through.
Oh no, they don't.
Reynolds. Oh. 2 of the championship leaders have just had massive chaos there on the second lap.
Mia, you chose well.
Oh my god. I don't want to. I don't want to be either of those 2 at the moment. And I think that is, who was that off? That was one of the cars that was stopped. I think they're still going again. Was that Lille in the Aston? It is too. He's dropping down the field. But wow, what a first couple laps. And if I'd like to trade our attention to the front of the field, Potter has caught up to Ellis by a lot.
Spice.
What a spicy first 2 laps we've had here at the moment.
And right now the wets look like the right strategy call, because it is still raining a little bit out there as we watch to see what happened to Brimco. He's just lost it turning through. I wonder if he was one of the ones on dries. And you can see another car off as well.
I think that's Lewis that went off as well in front of him.
Looked like Lewis, yes.
Now it's just lightly raining, so I think...
Stopped raining.
And someone's gone off the track out of the kink at turn 1. Who is that? Can't really get a good look at the number. It's
70.
70. I think that's Oliver, so...
Yes, it is Oliver. Oliver's had a little bit of an off, but the rain has now stopped, so the optimum tyre is going to start shifting a little bit. Won't shift for a while, but again, with that ambient temperature, it could be much quicker than we all thought.
Here's the chaos in the second lap through the first section of the track. So let's see what happens here. So Lille goes up the inside of Reynolds, but they're already dying in front. And he gets through, but what happens? Oh, yeah, that was a bit awkward, as in the split screen there.
Mirrors, please.
Oh my god, and in the split screen there you would have seen Parkin, I think, got choked up by Payno, and it just choked up the rest of the field behind, and now there's a massive train for, P14, yes, and I think that's Avediger at the front of it.
Yes, it is. Actually, Vediger at the front of it, you can see this is coming through. Is a little bit of contact with involving Vediger and Johnston. And now we get to see what happened here. You can see, oh no, it was Reynolds
Yeah,
was trying to get the jump to the inside, but there was the car still at the nose in there. So we now watch Brimble come up the inside of Frischstock. And he get the move done. Doesn't want to be hitting the back of Pano though, but manages to get it done successfully on Frischstock. As we look in camera 2 to the front, and it is Ellis being hassled there by Potter.
We've got another car around at the exit of turn 1.
It's already starting to get sunny here.
And that's Kidman that's around at the back, so, but you can see Vinegar is getting past. He got passed by Lewis at turn 1. He's about to get dove down by Pano. Brimble is going to follow. We've got Lewis, not Lewis, that was Payne going off there. Oh boy, he's going to go for 2 in 1. He is too, but he's going to lose it nearly. And now
How
it's going
did they survive that?
That's going to give Frischku probably the pass into the corkscrew, maybe not. Brimble is going to dive it deep. Going to survive. Lewis is going to shortcut. They're all going to shortcut.
No.
Oh my god.
But yeah, the sun's already come out here. This track is going to dry out very, very quick. And the dries are going to start coming back into this.
Interesting. Oh, that was a tight dive there by Rimbukum.
Yeah, barely any room as we see Reynolds has picked up 10 seconds.
I am quickly going to double check the steward's box what that would be for.
Meanwhile, out front, Ellis has started to break clear of Potter now. Potter now 1.5 seconds back, but does hold the fast lap. Now Johnston picks up 10 seconds.
So both of those penalties are for that melee at turn 4 on the second lap. So
yeah, I would say that there's fair enough penalties.
I think the track is already drying up, but the thing is that it doesn't matter how dry the track is, it matters what happens. And this is Bendick, I believe. He's had a wheel.
No, that is Oliver.
That's a wheel disconnect.
Yeah. He just stopped turning, like there was no turn. Oh dear.
What a drama-filled race we've had. We're not even halfway yet. As Murphy goes deep into the last corner, that's going to probably give Burton a good shot at the what is P4. You can see all the wet tyre runners are probably looking for wet track because that track looks drying up.
It's damp. It's now damp. The problem is that the dry runners who have already fallen quite a long way back have to find all that time again. That's whether those tyres are up to it anymore.
But the thing is that now that the track's drying up, it's already at damp, but the thing is that it's got to be up to at least greasy for the dries to start coming into effect. But with how, as you said, with how far back they are at the moment, it might not even matter. Because I think every single dry runner has had some sort of issue in the first 2 laps of this race.
I guess it all depends on how big the drop-off is with the wet tyres, as that is Fisselflake getting up the inside of Bendick into turn 6 and onto the Rahal straight.
And that's Payne up the inside of Parkin in through turn 4.
Fisselflake goes very, very deep into the corkscrew, and that's going to allow Bendick to try and come back. Track limits will be something to keep an eye on here. There's plenty of opportunities to run deep or just go a little bit too wide.
Usually the spot where you get them is through the corkscrew, maybe the corner beforehand if you go too wide and barely keep it going. You can see there in camera 2, that's a pretty good squabble there for sort of the mid-teens at the moment. As I think that is Pat Oliver coming back through the field. It is. I wonder if he's still got damage on that car. He does. That front looks very, very weak. Same with Lele as well. They've both got very damaged cars.
Yeah, so walking wounded is Lele and Oliver. They're trying their best nonetheless as we jump on with Murphy, who is currently sitting in P4 and doing a relatively good job. He's having to find any sort of wet patch on the track. It's dried out super quick because of the ambient, because that sun came out so fast after the rain stopped, and it wouldn't surprise me if we see it cut across to greasy very soon.
Well, it's very awkward the way the track dries up in AC, but you can see the track and the ambient have just climbed up since the start of the race, so it could be getting to a dry state maybe at the end of the race, but I'd say greasy at least. We've got someone in the pits. Is that... No, that can't be our P2.
It's
Oh,
Potter!
it is 2! Oh no! And as Frushik puts it up the inside of Pato, beautiful send to the corkscrew, and what would have been a good battle for the lead is... I don't know what's happened to Potter, but that's given Ellis an easy win at this point.
What? I think that was his choice, though. I think Potter's chosen to come into the pits for the dries.
But you're going to lose so much time.
But the question is how much do you gain from it?
With how short the race is, you'll gain nothing, I'd say. You're going to lose everything and gain nothing.
Let's see what happened. And yeah, it was Potter's choice to come in.
Oh no. I'm sorry, but that's he just cost himself a really good result there. As we see Lewis and Brimblecombe get tapped side by side. Lewis sort of spins around, and he's going to lose a spot as back up the front. Here's Vedica. Here's the dry tyres come into effect. He's P8 now. And I wonder what his pace is compared to the people in front of him.
Oh, look at all the red that's appearing on the timing board. 10 seconds for Frushtuck, 10 seconds for Payne, 10 seconds for Payne, 10 seconds for Reed.
I would say those are all for separate incidents we haven't seen yet.
Yep, I would say so. And again, it has been just one of those races where it's been unbelievable. Here is Reed, and I believe that is Oliver up the inside into the corkscrew. It's going to be tight, but he's made the move stick. That's Parker going off at the same time, and they're going to go side by side now through into Rainy Curve, and that is Oliver back up into P19. Getting past Parker, who is really starting to struggle out there.
Yeah, I think no matter what tyre you're on, you're struggling at some point on this track. As we can see here, Reynolds and Hornsbro, but Reynolds has got a 10-second penalty over his head, so at the moment that'll drop him down 2 spots into P13. But if I was Hornsbro, I'd probably just let him go and see what you can do if you can stay with him, because there's no point trying to hold someone up as Bendick and Burton go very wide there out of turn 6. I think that would be.
Yep, turn 6.
And actually, I just realised too, the Sisselthwaite's up to P4 in the Bentley.
Up the Bentley.
Probably the closest battle we've got on track. I'd say so, maybe not, but here's Murphy and Bracken.
So a few close battles, and they're both having to try and find any sort of wet real estate, as we are now to greasy. So the dries will be better right now.
Yep, now if you're on a wet tyre, you've just got to survive as Bracken goes deep. Gives Murphy P2.
And that's Burton trying to stick the nose up the inside. Bendick, it's going to be tight between these two, but Bendick holds on for now with the wider line.
And as you can see there, the purple lap has now gone to Vinegar, so those dries are hooked up and ready to go.
Here is Bracken going very deep, and that's allowed Murphy to get up the inside, and it got very close between those two. Did Bracken hold on to it? Oh, I think he might have just, but Murphy with the switchback. Does he get up the inside? I don't think he does now. You can see Bracken is still in P2.
Yeah.
As now here comes Burton trying to get through into the corkscrew. You're not going to do it there. That's close to the rear end. Managed to keep it going, but Burton's got a much better run out of the corkscrew. Is now going to go up the inside of Rainey. No, backs out of it. There's battles everywhere you look right now. This is excellent racing from Split Blue. We've got 5 minutes to go in this one. Vediger is on a charge, but it's going to be
Who's got
tough
the purple lap? Someone has now got the purple lap.
It'll be Potter who would have the purple lap.
It is too.
Potter is up to 21st. As here comes Burton up the inside of Bendig into turn 1 at the end, Reshi hairpin, and he gets it done. So Burton, the Pro-Am driver, up into P5. Very well done by the Honda.
You know, I wonder if the stewards are going to look at that overtake because he's had some of that car in the pit and in the pit exit, but I don't know what the stewards have deemed to be shortcutting the track there, you could say, because remember we had a couple of penalties for that last night. So I wonder what the stewards are going to say about that.
Wow, 37 PSI tyres on JC's car at the minute, so let's see. Oh, I reckon he's... Oh, I'm not sure on that one.
It depends. If the stewards say all 4 wheels over, then he's fine, but if it's 2 wheels over or anything like that, then it's not going to fly. We've got someone off at the Andretti hairpin and Parkin.
Yeah, so that's 323 there, yeah, so
That was pain.
as well. And that was Potter involved too.
I wonder if Potter had a bit of a bad dive, and I think it is going to be it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, and not
Oh.
the brakes. No!
That's just.
Amateur driving now. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. That was just pure amateur driving.
Yeah, I think I'm not going to comment on anything else of that. I think you took the words out of my mouth. As you can see here, so Reynolds has got the purple lap, as Vediger is still making a charge with another car off. And it's Bracken. Is that Bracken? It is too.
It was Bracken! Oh no, Bracken has gone off. So that's Murphy up into P2 and Fisselthwaite up into P3 as Vediger gets up to P4 and he's got a podium in sight.
I hope that isn't contact that caused Bracken to go around, because if it is, that's gonna be very, very bad here.
Oh no.
Oh, if it's not, please tell me it's not.
No!
It is too. That's gonna be a 15 for Murphy, I'd say, and that's gonna give Bentley P2, I'd say.
Well,
Bentley
we'll see, because
fans
Vediger's still coming. Vediger is still on his way.
But I think he's too far back. I think he is too far back. Oh no! Oh, he's about 3 seconds.
There's still 2 laps left in this one. There's still 2 laps left in this one.
This is why it's going to make that Bentley the widest goddamn Bentley anyone's ever seen here, to keep that what would probably be P2, I'd say.
Well, we'll see. Vediger has visibly gotten closer.
Actually, Fisselthwaite's also closing in on Murphy, so this could be interesting here.
Yeah, here's Fisselthwaite on Murphy, and these two are going to hold each other up and allow for Vediger to get ever closer. And look, 2 seconds gained in 1 sector. Vediger is inevitable here.
Spidey's done a beautiful job. He's now got the purple up, so the purple up's changing lap by lap. Murphy gets loose out of turn 3. Fisselthwaite gets ever so closer, and Vediger is he's got a rocket on. He's got full boost everything, and he's about to pass Fisselthwaite here into turn 4. Had a look. Maybe Murphy goes wide. Fisselthwaite goes under, and Vediger
through goes Vediger.
Oh my god, Vediger's been given P2 on a silver platter right there.
Oh, those wets are done. They are overheating like mad. They've gotten to 40 PSI, pretty much, and they're just gone. Wow. Vediger's got clean track ahead of him. I don't think he's going to be able to catch Ellis, but he's going to go for it. He's going to charge for it.
Well, I think at this point, if he charges for fastest lap on the last lap here, he could recover this race. He could probably steal the lead from Reynolds in the points. As you can see, Spidey has gone past the outside of Bendix, and he's now got Bracken in front of him. So he could have a really good result here. He could be P7 if he's good enough.
This has been incredible. And while we've been looking at all this, Reynolds is up to P5, but again with that 10-second penalty, as here is a nice gaggle of cars. It's all swapping around, and here comes Paddy Oliver. They're going to go 3 wide between What's that? Oliver, Vedica, and Convoy. Oh, that's tight to the wall. Convoy's had to back out of it. And now, side by side between Oliver and Vedica, and Oliver is through. What a move.
You know, I think out of what happened on lap 2, I never thought that any of these dry runners would be ever so close, so far up the field, but I have been proven wrong. P2 Vedica, P5 Reynolds, and what is a P12 from a wrecked Lambo?
It's not going to be enough for Vedica. Ellis has just about done enough. Unless he goes deep at the final corner, it's going to be Ellis, the silver class driver, who is going to take the win. Bruno Ellis wins the first race here for Split Laguna Seca in what was an excellent affair. Vedica, so close but so far, takes the fastest lap on the last lap to finish in P2. Those dries coming to life towards the end. And it's going to be Visselflate who will take P3 after Reynolds gets that 10 seconds. Wow.
That was a virtual race we had. Holy shit! I think no one expected that to be had so much action in it. Just I think that proves the fact we should have more wet to dry races in this league, because that was excellent.
Yep, and it was pretty much a 50-50 split. By the time the track got damp, it was about 13 minutes to go. By the time it went greasy, it was about 9 minutes to go. So it was about a 50-50 split for these drivers on wets and dries, for which was better. Boy, did it produce a spectacle.
And there we go, Murphy gets a 15-second penalty, I'd presume, for that hit on Bracken. So that's going to be Ellis, Vedica, Thistlethwaite, and Spidey is going to get P4. Out of what happened, he's going to get 4th position.
Excellent stuff from Split Blue there. And we still got one more race to go.
We've still got an 8-minute qualifying session to do and a 40-minute race. Like,
strap yourselves in, because that's only the entree. That's only your appetizer.
And here we go. Track is fast. It's hot. It's 8 minutes of qualifying action you're about to see here.
It's not hot. It's 22 degrees. It's gotten a lot cooler at the with 7 p.m. And yeah, there you go. Hearing from Bowden, the JC got to 41 psi, if you don't mind.
I think those tires are more like cheese now than rubber. I think at the end of this.
No. You have to say it the correct way. You have to say it like cheese.
Don't forget the before.
Yes.
As you can see, every single person is going to come out here and they're going to try and find a single bit of space on this track. They've got what is now 7 minutes left to set down a lap in the dry after doing a wet to dry race. This is going to be quite interesting, let's say. It's going to be whoever can adapt to the dry conditions quicker.
Well, we need to put our hats off to the fantastic stewards out here tonight who have had to deal with a lot in that first race. And, well, hope for their sake that this second race is a little bit cleaner on the penalty side, but for our sake we want just as much excitement, because that was incredible. And I think we just need a little bit of a breather now.
You know, usually we do have a breather by this 8-minute qualifying session being for everyone 11th and lower, but they've decided this week not to have that, so we get no breaks in the commentary box. We're going to keep going no matter what, and we're on board here with Vedica. He's actually the first person in the line here to settle up, so get a good benchmark here from Vedica. He's got a good clear track ahead of him. You can see the queue coming out of the corkscrew here.
Yeah, it's very, very busy out there. Got all cars out there except for Visselthwaite or Woods just coming out now.
And there's the queue there in the last corner, so Vedica won't get to it.
It's been a pretty pretty clean lap so far. Be interesting to see if it goes to optimum later in the session with how many cars are out there. Through nice and clean, just trying to get something on the board so far for the 999.
Yeah, he's probably got about, I'd say, 3 laps after this one to do as well. So it's going to be one full qualifying stint ahead of these drivers.
You love to see it. He'll be the first time on the board, and it is a 1. Oh, it's into the 22s, a 22.8.
That's pretty good considering you had a wet to dry race earlier, and also first qualifying session was green. It never got to fast track, so we're going to see some quicker times here than what we did in qualifying earlier.
Yeah, it's going to be intense, I would say. As here comes Murphy this time. Not going to challenge too much, but it's going to go again.
Yeah, he backed off there in the last corner, so probably was catching someone in front if he want to.
Here is the other Vediga of the Ashley variety. Across the line with a 24.2, so up to P5 for the moment. Currently Potter. Potter is taking the fastest lap with 22.7, so times are ramping up here.
I think this track is near enough to optimum status, so we get a track condition update if we can. No, it's still fast. Okay, so it's pretty close.
That Mustang better in the first and last sector, whereas Vediga and the BMW better in the middle sector. Oliver's gone into P3. This is a brilliant lap from Bracken so far, as that is now Vediga back to the top with a 22.4. Jump back to Bracken, who was about a second up, a little bit wide at the second last corner. We'll have a bit of a slipstream going down the straight here from the McLaren ahead, which will help that Porsche, but does compromise the exit. So only a 9/10 improvement, but that should put him up to P4. Does so.
Good job there by Burton, though. He's P5 in that Honda. I think it's the strongest track for the Honda this season as well. So got to make do with it while you can.
Yes, indeed. Here is Johnston, currently about 7/10 up. Could be a nice improvement, and he's still finding more time. What's it going to be like through the final corner, though? Goes nice and deep. The exit, not too bad. Does lose a little bit, but overall, it's been a net gain from that final corner. And up to the line, P6.
Here's Burton. He's was 2/10 up. Had a bit of a loose moment there on exit. He's going to lose at least a tenth from that. He's going to go, oh, look deep, but he's going to get a beautiful corkscrew here. Loses time on exit.
Oh, look at how loose that Honda is through Rainy Curve now into the second last corner. Coming up to the final corner. Very, very tight affair. Tries to maximize the exit and does so. But it hasn't gained him anything. It's going to be a 10th improvement. He's not going to improve on position. Oh, not too far off, but he's got 2 more laps to do it.
Oh, hello. Here's Ellis. He's nearly 7/10 up, so he's about to pop himself in the top 3 here if he completes the lap properly.
He'll be buoyed by the success of the first race. He's got to find 1 more tenth of a second if he wants to put himself in provisional pole. Goes a little bit deep into the final corner, but overall that's really, really clean. He's going to have a little bit of a slipstream. It's going to move him up to P2. It's going to be tight. Oh,
hello, look at who's pole. It's Chris Murphy. And look at how close
Vediga's done.
the top 3 are.
Vediga's done.
Look at how close the top 3 are. Half a tenth between the top 3. And Murphy's called it 2. Reynolds, though, he's even on time, but he's still got 1 more attempt left.
And Ellis is still going for it.
But he's got traffic, though. He's got a lot of traffic in front of him. This is his last attempt at this.
This is edge of your seat stuff, everyone. I hope you got your popcorn because you're going to need it.
I wonder how Potter's doing on his time too, because he's also going to be close here if he gets it.
That was very, very close to an off track there. I think Ashley Vedica did go a little bit off track, and now it's going to
No, but he's
hold
still
Ellis
valid.
up
He's
into the
still valid,
corkscrew.
Ash Riddle, sorry, not Ash Riddle. Ashley Vedic is still valid, and there's a yellow flag in front. Someone's off, but they're going to be off the track anyways.
Oh, this
Ellis
is
is now even on top. Hello, look at this delta from Kieran Potter.
finds a fair bit of time through the corkscrew. This is an epic time so far from Potter. We'll see what Ellis does across the line. He's going to be held up by the traffic in front. Is it an improvement for him? No, it's not. Traffic was too much, but look at Potter. He's going to blow the time of Murphy out of the water.
He might get a 21 here if he's lucky.
Yeah,
oh, he's
he
close.
is.
He's going to get it. He's going to get the first 21 of the night. Kieran Potter to the line. Pole position.
Whoa.
21, 957.
What a lap.
Puts P6 on the board for the Mustang. Wow.
What a lap from far out from Kieran Potter. Here is Jamie Convoy through final. Here's Horsburgh now through Rainy Curvies. Even on his Delta right now.
If there was ever a point to set a 21 in the qualifying session, it was then. No one else was able to respond. Bracken here, he's 2/10 up on his Delta. But I don't think he's going to gain a position. You can see Vedica Burton there gains up to P5, but will Bracken steal it off him? I don't think so. No, he won't. He'll stay P6. Wow, look at that. Look at that top 10. It switched and changed in the last 2 minutes of that session.
This race is going to be very open, and it's cloudy. Hello.
I wonder if there's rain on the radar.
Are we about to have an inverse, maybe?
This could be interesting. If it rains in the last 10 minutes, like heavy rains, you won't know.
Ah, boo.
No, but gotta remember, this is a 40-minute race, so we don't know what the last 10 minutes of this race will do.
Nah, it is so Drover.
God, you got no hope for ACC, do you?
No.
As we look through the field here, it's like we have flipped the top 10 around properly.
Yeah, exactly. It basically still is kind of a bit of a reverse grid affair going on here.
You know, I could also, same thing with Reynolds again. He's not the quickest Mustang. He's been bitten by Potter and Brimblecombe in that second qualifying session.
He's not happy. He's made his opinions of the track very well known.
You know, and I will say to Reynolds, that's why I didn't do this week. So he could have joined me. He could have joined me watching this race, but nope, he decided to do it anyways. And look what he's got going on for himself. So,
well, if it isn't the consequences of actions, we got a minute and a half until the start of this one, and it's wide open.
What's the saying? He effed around and now he's finding out, I think is what the saying is.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But wow, what a group we've got: Potter, Murphy, Ellis, Vediger, Burton, Bracken, Brimblecombe, Johnston, Reynolds down in P9, then Oliver rounding out your top 10 with Conboy, Lel, Ben Deitch, Horsburgh and Park in your top 15. Visselfleet was on the podium in that first race, down there in P17, so has a big recovery drive ahead of him.
There you go, Ashley Reynolds in the chat. I should have just gone to sleep, mate. You know, you're exactly right. You could have gone to sleep. You could have done anything else other than race this track, and you're reaping what you sowed. So I don't feel for you whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, we got 30 seconds to go until the start of this formation lap. Ambient temp is 24 degrees. Track temperature is 31 degrees. It's a beautiful overcast day here at the somewhat existent Laguna Seca circuit. I don't know why I say somewhat. It does exist, but some people would wish against that. Oh, any predictions for this one?
Prediction is it'll bucket it down in the last 10 minutes.
Yay! Someone's got some hope for this game. Very happy birthday to Jan in chat there for yesterday. Had a fantastic day. Hope you're enjoying this action as much as we are, Jan. Formation lap to get through here. 40 minutes of action, Laguna Seca circuit. It's going to be one interesting race. Of course, do not go away. We'll have me quickly into proceedings for Split Red at the end of this one. Now we'll focus in on what Split Blue has to offer for us.
Split Red, for those who are interested in the nose house, you've got Mr. JC coming straight from this race into Split Red commentary, and then you've got Austin McNeil and Neil Hayes joining you for Split Red. So that'll be coming up in the next 45 minutes as the field comes around to finish off their formation lap for what will be another interesting race, I would say. If it doesn't bucket down, it's still going to be interesting. You've got a couple of fast guys further back in the field. You've got a couple of people at the front who could drop back, but it's going to be an interesting second race here.
Certainly is. I just noticed on the rear wing of Joshua Bediger's car that says hashtag worst Coke ever. Oh, very interesting there. We will have Potter from Murphy, then Ellis, Bediger, Burton, Bracken, Brimblecombe, Johnston, Reynolds, and Oliver, your top 10. The green flag will be waved very, very shortly. And we are underway, and it is a very, very good start from Potter. Looks like Ellis got a nice jump as well. They're going to be side by side going through turn 1. And Murphy's going to have to try and hold on the best he can against the winner from race 1. They're all pretty well behaved in the turn 1. There's a few cars going off back. They've all gotten through nice and safe. Once again, Split Blue very clean on the start. That's Bediger up the inside of Burton, who's trying to go around the outside. If you don't mind, there's a little bit of contact, and that's off the road. I think that might be Reynolds, who's just gone off the road a little bit there. And there's a drop down of carpool positions. That's Paddy Olber now trying to get past Reynolds, and there you go. Reynolds was the one off the road. Still got the nose up the inside of Olber, so might be able to hold on to his starting position of P9, and does so. Meanwhile, further back, that is Van Dyke up the inside of Johnson, who's dropped back a little bit. Oh no, that's Lel, sorry. Johnson's ahead of Reynolds. But out front, Potters is away and clear. A second clear of Ellis, who's gotten past Murphy now. Seems into the corkscrew. They're all pretty well behaved right now. Oh, that's Lel trying to get up the inside. Bendick's not going to have it happen there. A little bit of side by side. Going back to 3 wide. How have they got through there?
Oh my god.
Here comes Bediger now. Oh, does have a little bit of a look on Murphy. Murphy's gone deep, scared Chris Murphy, and now that BMW is going to have the run going down towards the Andretti hairpin. Meanwhile, further back, that's number 13 who's gone off at the corkscrew. And Burton's in this as well. Burton is in this fight, and he's gone deep on the brakes, but manages to avoid the back of the Coke Zero car.
Oh, and that's going to give Brimblecombe a sniff here too.
Yes. They've all got to be careful. It's a different dynamic to what we had in race 1, so we're going to have to switch up the modes a little bit and work things out. A bit of the inside curve there for Joshua Bediger, but he's gotten through cleanly. And overall, apart from that little bit of an incident for the number 13,
got another one off too there. Oh, Brimblecombe's got off the dirt. Oh, and he's going to keep
it out of the wall.
Oh, does he keep it off the track? I think he did. And Bediger's going to have a look at Murphy, and it's a corkscrew. Oh no, we've got one car sideways.
That's Lel, and that's Bediger through.
Beautiful move there by Bediger. And now Burton's going to have a look here at Murphy. But up the front though, Potter hasn't ran away. Ellis is keeping that gap within a second.
Very, very good round so far for Ellis, who will be reaping the rewards in the Silver Class Championship, just furthering his claim to be a pro driver next season.
Well, I think he's where he's in the points at the moment is very close to overall leading. We've got another 2 cars off before the last corner.
5 and 323. 323, that is Kane, the number 5, looking through, I believe that would be Reed in the Audi. As there is Brimacombe going off. I think he just keeps it out the wall. Oh dear. No. It was nearly an epic avoidance by Lel, but just not enough in the end. And unfortunately, Brimacombe just coming out a little bit on track. Not sure how much control he had over the car. I have a feeling there might be a little bit of an invoice for that one.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if he throttled up or kept on the brakes, but the rear just kept coming around on the grass there, and there's nothing you can do when the rear wants to keep going. And here's that move there Vidica had on Murphy. Beautiful move up the inside. Murphy got a lot of curb there on the entry to the corkscrew, but kept it on the line. We go back here to live, and Bracken is now on, getting to the back of Burton. Burton's actually dropped off Murphy a tiny bit, but Vidica, I think that gap is closing between him and Ellis is slowly but surely closing the gap to Potter. And as I say that, Ellis gets fastest lap. So
here's Piper going around at the corkscrew, just a little bit too much inside curb, and a combination of Audi things as well.
That car is very strong here. So I think it's, actually I might be wrong at that statement. I'm probably thinking of Indy where it's really strong at. So.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, we're not at Indy.
Yet.
Of course, it is the month of May. We won't be here in May. Further back, this is Lee Perkins trying to defend from Kidman. Kidman's got a really good run out of turn 4, now up to turn 5. Is he going to try and dive up the inside of Perkins, or no, he backs out of it? He looks quite quick at the minute. Out front, there you go, you can see in camera 2 just how close Ellis is getting to the rear end of Potter. Reynolds is starting to make up a few positions as well, up to P8, still sitting behind Johnston, but slowly getting close to him as well. Coming up to the line now, camera 2, I have a feeling Ellis. Yeah, he's set enough lapses.
Jesus, Potter got the fast lap, but Ellis took it back, and they're both actually pulling away from Vidica as Bracken is going to have a look on Murphy into turn 1. Beautiful move down the inside. Murphy's going to have a look for the re-go, but not going to. Bracken's going to close the door there on the second apex, so Bracken now up to P5, and actually Ashley Johnson has passed. Oh no, sorry, I'm mistaken in it. Very confused here by the colour of cars right at the moment, but we've got Ashley Johnson there and Reynolds, and Murphy's coming back to them. Oliver's also in that little fight, so about to be a 5-car trainee for P5.
Yeah, it's being led at the minute by Bracken. Oh, Paddy over that, that's a save. As here comes Reynolds, he's not going to get it through, done into the corkscrew, he nearly gets the back of Johnston.
Gonna have to look for a move probably into turn 1 if he can, but on camera 2 you can see there Ellis I think has actually dropped a bit back from Potter, so I think Ellis might have made a little mistake. And here we go, Reynolds are going to have a look at the last corner. He's going to put it, no he won't.
Oh dear, around the background, that's Paddy Oliver off. Paddy Oliver off the second last corner, and well, Kieran Potter saw Ellis took the fastest lap and took that very personally, took it straight back.
That's not surprising. That was Potter's probably really consistent at the moment on the pace, and Ellis sort of had a mistake there on that last lap. But you can see Reynolds is still on the back of Johnson.
Oh, a little bit of dust going into turn 3, just trying to open up as much as possible, and that's just deep from Paddy Oliver. Oh no.
He was a bit wide on entry. He had it saved, but yeah, Convoy had nowhere to go there, and that sort of, yeah, it was either in the dirt, into a wall, or into the rear of Paddy Oliver, and he picked option B there. And I think that's probably his race done. No, he's still there at P9, so.
Yeah, Convoy's still going. Paddy Oliver is very much further back down, no P18 at the moment for Oliver.
Well, I think my over the replay here with Convoy, yeah, he tried to get past, but wasn't really anywhere to go there.
Unfortunately for Jen, right as that happened, go Pat, go JC.
Yeah.
Jen, you could take our job.
Yeah. Updated on Rainwatch. Rainwatch is not happening. It's there's no rain on the radar, so I'm about to be very disappointed here in this race.
You see me, or it pays to be negative.
What if I want to be? Well, what if I want to be positive? Right? What do I want to? I want to hope for some excitement with the weather. So
It's the hope that kills you. Meanwhile, we've got plenty of action happening here. Reynolds still behind Johnston and Bendage, all over the back of Fizzleplates, who's come up a fair ways from his starting position of P17. That Bentley seems to be far better in the race than in qualifying.
yeah, Reynolds is still. He's probably. I would not be surprised if he has a go at him here sometime. Surely,
yeah.
Nearly has a look at it.
Wasn't far away from calamity there, and now he's gone a little bit wide at the second last corner. He's not going to be able to have a go into the final, so has to stay behind for at least one more lap. Ellis is taking the fastest lap back. It's swapping between those two, between Potter and Ellis, and Benegate isn't quite able to catch either of them right now.
No, he must be. The gap to Ellis about a couple laps ago was 1.1, so he's dropped about 3/10 to Ellis, but Ellis isn't catching Potter that quickly either. So this is going to be
Interesting.
It's going to be a slow burner up the front, I'd say.
As still trying his damnness. I think Burton made a bit of a mistake into the Andretti head. He's lost a second through that first sector.
At the moment, if I was Ashton Reynolds, I'd be ruining the fact how this round has gone, because going into this round, he had a 67-point lead over Vediger, and with how things stand, I would say he's about to lose that. He's about to lose that entire advantage he had to Vediger.
How fun. He has chosen those into the final corner. Can't do anything about it. Johnston's just making that Aston Martin nice and wide, and Reynolds can't do anything about it.
Probably that. It's probably the only thing Johnson can do at the moment, because he's not really catching Murphy, and Murphy's not coming back to him. So he's just got to really defend his position at the moment. It's pretty easy to do at this track.
Very much so, as here is a little bit of a battle, but I think it was a battle between Vediger and yeah, it was Ashley Vediger and Sean Brookham getting past Old Man Vediger, as Appreciato calls him. Oh dear, and that's Jamie Convoy trying to defend from Cameron Fizzleplates. Convoy will be struck a little bit with some front damage. Fizzleplates has pace in that Bentley in the race.
I just realised too, Convoy's got the hazards on, so...
Fizzleplates has a look into the corkscrew and nearly runs into the back. Manages to keep it out of the rear of the Mustang. Of course, Matt may just want to give that Mustang a little bit of assistance for the boot lid to come off.
No, they fixed that now. They think.
They think.
Yeah.
I see. Potter's taking back the fastest lap, by the way.
Well, actually, I say that. I believe in the Spa 6 hour we had no Mustangs losing their boot lids, so I think they have fixed it.
There you go. Actual progress at Ford. And now Vediger is starting to fall away a bit from Potter and Ellis. Potter just set the fastest lap. Ellis still within about just over a second. Vedica now dropping back to about 2 seconds away from Ellis. Still trying to close in on Burton, who doesn't have the pace to go up the front, guys. Great.
No, but he's actually eavesdropping back to Bracken, so this could be a pretty interesting battle here for P4 about to brew.
Very much so. Seeing camera 2 again, the rear end of Convoy still intact as Bismarck White closes in. On the Delta's out front across the line. It's down. Yeah, it's just ebbing and flowing, and well, yeah, it's no real changes out front, so could just come down to the final few laps here. Oh, and that's deep again, and that's allowed Bracken up the inside, and Bracken's through.
That was nearly
now, Burton.
Oh, that was nearly contact there, but they survive. And Burton nearly loses it again out of turn 2. And now he's got, and he goes wide out of 3. That's gonna not help at all because he's about to have Murphy on his arse.
He just gone a bit deep into the Andretti hairpin a few times now as Burton, so wonder if he's just forgotten where his braking point is. And, just needs to dial it back somewhat.
As we've got another car off, and I think that's
Ripples.
Yep.
Once again, not having the clean race that he wants. He's got to be a little bit careful on the rejoin, and he's careful, so play on as we watch a replay, and now it's just wide.
Oh, really wide.
Oh! Can't park there, mate.
No. And we think Convoy's been given a 15, and I think that 15 is for the hit with hit in the rear with Oliver. Or is that a 10? No, that is a 15, so interesting.
A 15 second for that.
Interesting, I think will be the only comment I'll have about that. As we see our Kebble 1, all the dust is being kicked up here by Burton. He's already been passed by Murphy, now he's got Reynolds on the back. He's passed Johnston, so that's pretty good from Reynolds. He's trying to recover something from this second race.
Well, I'd very much like to quote James Hunt right now, but I'm not going to.
No, I think the more we talk about Alexis, the more of a hole we'll dig in that situation.
Yeah, so I think we'll just move on.
Yep.
And Burton's starting to struggle now to hold on to those tyres.
Actually, I want to look at this gap between Potter and Ellis because that looks closer than usual. It is about 3/10 down. So Potter's probably made a little mistake, but still not a big mistake for Ellis to catch on to yet.
Well, that Ford seems to gain time through that middle sector over the Lamborghini as
Brookham
comes
again's
around
gone off.
again.
And he's called it. I think, yeah, that's not surprising. He's had probably a very bad second race there.
Not a day to remember for Brimblecombe, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not been great. We've got another car, car 13 that's off as well.
Unlucky 13. That would be... it's Payno. Payno in the Aston Martin around. Still struggling to get the speed back up. Watch on with Burton, who's still holding on to the back of Murphy. gap is between Potter and Ellis across the line. It's less than a second now. And between Ellis and Vediger, it's over 2 seconds. So, again, Vediger is starting to lose touch with Potter and Ellis out front. But Ellis is going to start challenging for that lead very, very soon, you'd expect. It's been a very, very good round so far for him. And it would be even better if he can make it 2 from 2. Now, carry on. Still got just over half of the race to go. Trying to claw his way ever so closer to the back of Bracken. Burton still holding on. Reynolds starting to close in as well after getting past Johnston.
He hasn't really caught a lot on Burton. But gaps always stayed about the same. Yeah, it's actually dropping a little bit from Burton. So as Bracken goes deep, this is going to open up an opportunity here for Murphy to have a look.
Bracken recovers well though. We'll see what's like through the second last corner. And Bracken gets it nicely executed. That was a really good run.
Actually has really closed up this battle pack here. Reynolds is sort of still a little bit far back, but this P5, 4, 5, and 6 have got a bit closer. Spurs going to have a look at Murphy. He's going to go for it. That's deep. He's going to get it too, and Reynolds is right there as well. He wasn't close enough to have a sniff at it.
The nice pass. It was a good use of the block pass tactic there from Burton, and he gets back up in the P5.
One of the only 2 types of passes you can do here, and I think the most successful one is the block pass. So.
Yeah, now it will be Reynolds all over the back of Murphy, who wasn't able to make any inroads on Bracken, so we'll see whether Burton's got those tyres up to scuff now.
Murphy's going to have to be a bit worried about Reynolds behind, because Reynolds isn't really that pacey to get to Burton. So if Reynolds passes Murphy, Murphy's going to get a bit stuck behind him. Back up the front though. I think Vedica sort of called it on the battle to get up to P2. He's probably going, look, P3 is a pretty good result. I'll keep it here. It'll be good points from the round as well. If you get P3 in the second qualifying, or was he P5? I think it was P3
or P4. I think we better go.
Yeah, so P2 from race 1, P3 from race 2, that's pretty good points compared to what Reynolds is getting, so...
Still 18 minutes to go, so Reynolds could make his way up, because the gap between himself and the position just behind Vedica is only about 2 seconds. The only problem is there's a couple of cars in the road. Neither of them are particularly slow. So, out front, Potter is just starting to get away a little bit from Ellis, but the rear on the dust gets a little bit loose, so they'll lose a bit of time compared to Ellis. So I think that's just how it's ebbing and flowing at the moment. It's just one little mistake that can be made, and there you go, 4/10 made up in that final sector by Ellis.
I think that the Lambo is pretty strong in that last sector, so I'd probably say the best way to tell that gap is at the start-finish line, and at the moment that gap has closed up nearly a tenth that last lap, so he's ever so close to getting into the back of Potter.
Just slowly but surely getting closer for them, and yeah, Vedica has, I think, given up. The pace that Potter and Ellis are showing out front is just a little bit too strong for that BMW. If only he had real sugar in that instead of fake ones.
see here. So I'd probably say the Mustang. Oh, that was a bit of a cut there by Potter.
They say you cut the course.
And Murphy's gone wide. That's going to give Reynolds a perfect opportunity up the inside. He goes, thank you very much. Goodbye. And that is P6 there for Ashton Reynolds.
Damage limitation here for Reynolds at this stage.
We'd be loving that because that's more points onto the total for the round. So
That's it. Now that gap between Ellis and Potter has closed in just that little bit more. The mistake from Potter through the corkscrew, and that Lambo does look like it's just a little bit better on the tires at the minute compared to the Mustang. Oh, that's loose.
Now this has opened up the gap. This is the
3/10.
opportunity. This is the opportunity Ellis has been given. I think Potter's rears are getting a bit loose there. Here we go. This is the battle for the lead.
Oh, and Potter's gone deep. Potter's gone very deep, and that's going to allow Ellis to try and get up the inside.
Oh, no. This is going to be interesting here. 2 wide, 3 is not going to work, and I think Ellis is going to give him the spot he will. That's good there. We've got 15 minutes left in this race. No point trying to do moves like that, but he's lost a bit of time in that to Potter.
And lost time to Vediger as well.
At the moment, Vediger's too far back, I think, to do anything at the moment. So they still got to battle hard for him to catch up.
I have a feeling that they will battle hard. Based on watching Potter and Ellis race before, I reckon they're going to have quite the tussle here, and Vediger is going to catch right up, especially if Ellis can't get past Potter, whose tyres seem to be going away from him. And that could be very well just be the Achilles heel of the Mustang. It's a very, very quick car, but it just doesn't seem to be that great on the tyre wear.
No, it could be that, or it could just be something else, but Potter at the moment, they've also got traffic ahead too, so this could play a role. Oh, look at the traffic in front. That's a queue.
It's a fair queue.
Yeah.
Being led by Sykes at the minute. They'll come up to Frushtuck first. That Mustang does seem to just get away a little bit through the middle sector, but Ellis finds it back again in the final sector. Now, this is where the traffic comes into play. Stuck lets them through.
Yep, that's a pretty good call there from Friction. So good. You know, even though the rules in OR are the F1 style blue flag, you're going to move out the road. If they move out the road in the wrong spot, it'll probably affect you. Yeah, more than if they just didn't do it in the first place.
That's it, you have to manage it, and that was pretty well managed by Frushtuck. Gap is still 0.5 of a second, and Vediger is just starting to close back in again, but not by a huge amount. Meanwhile, Johnston is starting to pile the pressure on Murphy there in camera 2, so Murphy really starting to struggle in this race.
You can see how sideways Potter is out of turn 2 there. He's just, it's like he's got so low TC on that car. It's just not kicking in because I think he's leaving black marks out of that corner. So he's on it. No doubt about that.
I'm not surprised. It's not very often that you get put into this sort of position, but for someone like Potter, he definitely has the pace to take advantage of it. And yeah, again, through that middle sector, that Mustang shows its strength, but through this final sector is where the Lamborghini finds its footing. Traffic is all through this final sector. Yeah, look at that, stuck behind there. There's that Perkins in the Ferrari, and manages to get out of the way, but he's going to lose the position there to Payne in the Ford. Yeah, so far Potter is negotiating the traffic a little bit better than what Ellis is right now.
I wonder if his pace is a bit better now than Ellis, because he did a 22.8 lap. I wonder what Ellis did.
Would have been a 23.1, I would say.
It could be. Yeah,
23.
beautiful.
Because gap at the line last lap was about 0.5 of a second, so. But we'll see what happens. They've cleared the traffic, so it's all up to them now. Oh, and that's a little bit wide from Potter. Just that rear end getting that a little bit loose again for the Mustang.
And he was lucky to
that's
keep
wide.
it on the track. Oh my
Got to be
god.
careful with the track limits, Potter. Got to be very careful with those track limits.
I think he's worrying more about his tyres than track limits, because he is pushing that thing as wide as he dare to keep the tyres somewhat alive to try and defend Ellis if he gets closer.
See how much of the curb and more he's having to use. Ellis gained so much in that final corner. If Ellis gets the run out of the second last, he's gonna dive it at the final corner. He's got that braking performance in that Lambo hooked up. And there you go, 22.7 on that lap for Ellis. Would have been about a 23.1 there for Potter on that time, on that lap round. Ellis right now looking in the ascendancy when they're in the clean air. How far they've broken clear of Vediga. Vediga's dropped back again to 3.2 seconds back, so Vediga is pretty much out of this unless there's calamity out front. So it's all between Potter and Ellis for the last 10 minutes of this race. There's plenty of battles happening further throughout the field. Still line astern for Bracken, Burton and Reynolds. Johnson still trying to chase after Murphy, and then Kua and Gaggles further into the field. And it's a little bit deep for Potter.
No, I think
coming
I
out
think
of
Potter,
the corkscrew, and
yeah,
here comes
Potter
Ellis.
had a bad exit. This is going to be interesting if Ellis has a good run through it, as he could use that stopping power of the Lambo. You can see Potter just pulls it.
Bit of rally cross. We'll see how much Ellis gains in that final sector. It'll be about 0.5 of a second in the final sector alone.
And I think that'd be down to the fact that Potter had a pretty terrible corkscrew.
Yeah, the exit was just really sluggish. Got very, very wide on the exit, and he's having to push that thing like mad. This is as close Ellis has been, but that dirty air's not gonna really help him through these fast corners, and you can see it just drifts him wide, so he's really got to take his opportunity here to try and show the nose where possible, scare Potter with some kind of mistake, but Potter will not be taken off his line very easily.
Well, you say that, but it has happened before. Is in camera 2 there. Reynolds had 2 good looks there at Burton.
Now
he's actually going to get past him now. Yep, he's going to get past him here. Or maybe not. Oh!
Well held by Burton around the outside. That's beautiful stuff.
Wow, he defied what I said, but Reynolds is still going to be feisty here. He's going to have a move here shortly. He's got one of the Mustangs there off. Reynolds has a look down the inside. Won't happen.
That was well held by Burton. He can be very pleased with that.
And I think it helps as well that Reynolds sort of respected that, gave him a bit more room on the outside too to let Burton go instead of crowding him off, and that's good racing there by both Reynolds and Burton.
Absolutely. And out front, Ellis is still trying to find his way past.
I don't think he's trying to find a way past him. He's trying to find a way to get to the rear of Potter to try and pass him. So he's gotten close once before, but he's got to try and do it again.
Either way, this has been a standout weekend for Ellis. I mean, if he gets 2 wins here, it would not surprise me if he gets a cheeky promotion much earlier than just next season.
Well, the thing is that his overall standings at the moment is P4, and he's 155 points back from Reynolds. That is a full round, but with the way this has been going, he'll probably close that gap in half, I'd say.
Yeah, because it would have, if Ellis manages to get on top here, then it would be two P1 performances against, what, two P6s in the end?
Yeah.
So, it's all up in the air, but right now, it's been excellent stuff from Ellis, and again, he's just got to find a way to get onto the back of Potter, who's doing a pretty good job right now managing the Mustang's weaknesses at the moment.
Yep, so the Mustang is good down the straight, but it's bad in the brakes. And we've got here replay of Payne going off with the corkscrew, but he holds his brakes in the middle of the track. They all get past him. Yep. Waits one more. There you go. That's how you
Yeah, that's how you
have
do
an
it.
accident.
You can see through this middle sector, that's where Potter gets the better of Ellis, and I think that just negates any gain that Ellis finds through the first and third sector. As around!
Ooh. That was a lapped car. That was
Probably
Fushik, I think,
pushed up.
going off there.
And now here comes Burton on Bracken. Been a very, very good race from Burton. He struggled a little bit with some mistakes earlier on, but has dialed them out and has really got the Honda hooked up from here.
One thing catching, it's another thing passing here in Bracken at the moment. It's probably going to make that the widest portion of the track.
Very much so. We will see what happens, but that straight line speed of the Honda will be helping a little bit into the Andretti hairpin. Can't do anything there, but Bracken is a little bit deep. Maximizes the exit, so we'll stay ahead for now, but Burton's going to have one eye forward, one eye in his mirrors, because here comes Ashlyn Reynolds. 5 minutes to go.
It's going to be probably one of the most interesting 5 minutes so far, because everyone's closing in on each other and they're going to be desperate for moves here. So
That's it. It's all to play for. And meanwhile, out front there is a little bit of traffic coming into play, and that's actually compromised the exit there of Potter. And here comes Ellis, wants to run through the second last corner. It's very, very good. Potter runs it nice and wide. Ellis sticks his nose up the inside, but Potter's not going to be deterred. That's the closest yet that Ellis has been to taking the lead of this race. And I think from here they should be clear of any blue flags.
yeah, I think that'll be it for the blue flags for them.
So it's all up to Ellis and Potter here. Who takes it out? We've got a few more laps to go before we hand it off to Split Red, but this has been a very entertaining round for Split Blue once again. So, excellent, excellent stuff to see.
It's just sort of, you just got to hope the one in front of you makes a big mistake here, because that big mistake will give you a sniff at a pass, and you're going to take it no matter what at this point, as Bracken goes wide again.
Yeah, it's just the urgency will be picking up between these drivers. Ellis goes a little bit wide through Rainey. That's going to compromise his run through the second last, but still he holds on nicely to the back of Potter, but still just can't quite get close enough to the rear of that Mustang, who just gets a brilliant run out of the final corner, and it's just going to really hurt Ellis's chances here.
Yeah, Ellis can do nothing about that straight line speed of the Mustang at the moment.
Meanwhile, Bracken's going to deal with the opposite. Bracken doesn't really have the straight line speed, whereas that Honda, not too shabby in a straight line, but good exit from Bracken, so he'll hold on again for now.
Well, he gets close, he had to sort of dive off the brakes there to not hit him.
And that's just allowed Bracken to break further clear. got after this one, there'll be about, I think it'll be the last lap on the next lap, very well, could be.
We're about
Might have
20.
another one.
No, I'd say we've got one more lap after this.
So it all comes down to this pretty much. And yeah, we are on the penultimate lap now. Next lap is going to be the last one. Ellis has got one more opportunity pretty much to get past. It's all to play for. Potter, you would say, is the favourite from here. But anything can happen in this race. Into the Andretti hairpin, way too far back on this occasion. It's going to have to happen into Sector 3. It has to happen at the final corner.
But seeing as he's got to have a good enough run through the rest of this track to be on the back of his bumper to have a movement at the last corner.
Oh, I mean, all it takes is a poor exit out of the corkscrew, as we saw from Potter earlier. He does get closer to his first sector, but once again, it's going to be that middle sector that the Mustang revels in. It was just maybe a touch wide from Potter on that occasion, but it's through turn 6 where that Mustang has its strengths, and up the Rahal straight. What is the gap? It's probably the closest this has been. As camera 2, that's Burton trying to go around the outside of Bracken. You're not going to get much done there. Meanwhile, on camera 1, it is still close, but Potter's got a beautiful exit, and I think that's curtains for the lead, battle for the lead, unless Ellis goes for an absolute send into the final corner. Oh, Potter is a little bit wide. Is Ellis going to try and go for it? He is. He's going to dive it, but it's not going to be close enough. Potter has done enough in this race, and it's going to be Kieran Potter who wins it here for race 2 at Split Blue. Ellis so close. Finishes in second.
Camera 2 here. Burton had a bit of a bad run. That's given Reynolds, but Reynolds going to go wide out the second last corner. And that's going to be it, I think, for Reynolds there. So, as you saw earlier, Potter P1, Ellis P2, Vedica rounds up the podium P3. Bracken will hold off for P4. P5 Burton, the 6th position will be Ashton Reynolds. That was P7 and P8 coming across the line. Johnson and Murphy, Thistlethwaite a little bit far back. He'll finish in P9 right in front of Bendix to finish off the top 10. And Mr. JC, he'll finish P11 on track, but I don't think he'll keep that place.
No, he won't. He'll drop behind Parkin, Lewis, Vediga, and Scanlon in this one. As here comes Parkin up. And let's see, there is Lewis, Scanlon, and there's been contact with Vediga at the final corner somewhere, but I think he's still going to hold on to P14 after Convoy's penalty. Kidman, then Lel, Oliver, Piper, Horsburgh, Wood, and then Reed and Payne, your finishers there. Now we've got Split Red coming up very, very shortly. We'll just finish off proceedings in this one. Couple more drivers just need to cross the line. And we'll jump straight over to Split Red. We'll get a quick look at the results, of course.
Yeah, well, I think tonight was probably, it is the midpoint of the championship, but it'll be a couple of changes in the points, I would say, for this round. And especially with myself taking a drop round, it's going to be a bit of a change up the top of the order. With Ellis taking a P1 and a P2 from the night. Vediga taking 2 podiums as well, P2 and P3, so he's going to get a lot of points on Reynolds. Now we'll have a look at that race 1. Ellis, Vediga, Thistlethwaite was your podium.
In race 2, it was Potter, Ellis, and Vediga, your podium there.
But if you do want to look at where Reynolds finished in the first race, he finished 7th and he was P6 in the second race. So he's going to take a hit in the points. And we'll have a look here at the podium, class podiums. Spidey, Bendick, Lewis takes podium, race 1 silver. Pro-Am, Burton, Vediga, and Parkin. And then for Am, it was Ellis, Brimwickham, Fruitstick, but really, Fruitstick was the one who was really owning Am in that one. And in the second race, as we saw, Potter, Ellis, Vedica of the Josh variety take over the overall podium. Silver, it was Johnston, Murphy, Bendix, Pro-Am, it was Burton, Parkin, and Ashley Vedica, and then Am was Ellis Frutschik, but really Frutschik was the only Am in this race to finish off.
Well, hashtag Ellis for pro.
He's gonna have a strong showing in the points, I'd say, but yeah, I think we'll call it there for Split Blue. That was an interesting first race, a bit of a dull second race, but it really sort of made up the entire night. But we now go to the last split of the Asia Pacific week and the second one for tonight. And I'll introduce you to the guys who'll be commentating on it. Neil Haynes, Jamie Convoy, and Austin McNeil.
Good evening, everybody. How are we?
Yeah, we're going good. Thanks for that call, guys. That was an interesting first race. Second race, as we said, a little bit going on, but obviously we got the last little bit of qualifying here. 2 minutes to go. We got Sang currently leading over Lucas Keys, and then Cooley in third position in the pits at the moment. So it looks like he may be done. Actually, he's just coming out now. As yeah, big welcome to obviously JC will be here later on. I think he's in the box now, and along with
here.
Austin McNeil.
Sorry, thank you, Neil. Thank you to Mia, obviously, as well, and to Alexis Bowen. And yeah, we will never speak of Laguna Seca Split Blue again.
Why is that, JC? What was going on?
No, we're not talking about it, Austin.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just want to focus on Split Red because this is the split we've all been waiting for. It's the, as Mia said, the last split of AP for the week, and it's obviously it's the fastest split, so it's what we're all here for. SRO Asia.
That's exactly right from last week. Obviously, there was a lot of quite a lot of interesting racing, a bit of stewarding action as we saw last week, with a little bit of riffraff going on, but obviously some entertaining nothing for nonetheless, though, was there, JC?
That was an absolute banger last week. In fact, we've been treated to a few of those. Brands Hatch was really good. Masano had plenty of incidents as well, so they've all been really good, and hopefully they turn it on again for us tonight. I'll tell you what I'm noticing early on. I don't know if we can see the track state at some point, Mr. Hignett, but it's high 22s here at the moment, which I would not expect from these guys. Still got the overlay up at the moment, so once I get rid of that, we'll see what the track state is. It's probably green, or it is still green, yeah, so that's what I think most splits have been treated to. Certainly we were in Split Blue, and I think last night it was sort of a green to... what's after green?
I believe it's fast.
Yeah,
No?
right? I had a mind blank there for a second. So green and then fast it was last night. But yeah, so these guys not posting the 21s that I think we were all excited to see and that we'll probably see in qualifying 2.
Yeah, well, big thing at the moment, the championship leader in the Bentley, as we just go and see him right there, currently all the way in 7th in this qualifying for first race. Obviously not going to plan here at Laguna Seca for the big Bentley.
He's pulled over there too, young Jeep. He's had enough, so that's as high as he's going to be. Hopefully he doesn't get overtaken by too many more cars, but he is certainly capable of a lap. I was watching him practice earlier on this week, so expect Peach to reply in qualifying 2. He'll be back.
Well, big moment on camera 1 of the BMW, just losing the rear end of that car straight into the tyre barriers, and that's the end for him. I'm really looking forward to this sprint. I like these shorter 2 races. It should be very interesting indeed. A lot of points on offer, 300 points, I believe 150 each race, is it?
Is it 150 each race, or is it split? If it's for 300 points, that's pretty crazy.
I'm not too sure how it goes, but I mean, unless it's a overall round winner, maybe.
Yeah, alright, so it's split between 2 races, so 75 points for a win each time.
There you go.
But still, you gotta love the racing in these shorter races. Everyone's just pushing that extra 10th, trying to make up the spots. As here we have them on the grid now, looking a bit overcast, but maybe not as wet as our previous split. Although it does say there's rain incoming, so a little spanner in the works for these guys.
They all are experienced runners out here. Most of these guys, they love a little bit of wet weather. Been running on ACC for quite a while, so they always call out for a bit of wet weather. But this would be a pretty tricky track, actually, in the wet, I'd say.
Oh, wet and 10? Cam Thistlethwaite saying it's wet and 10.
That's what the HUD was saying. Wet in 10.
Yes.
And we'll see how we go. As we're just going past Enzo Ison there in the number 75, the leading car of the what is it, LOR cars. Doing a good job for those guys. Hopefully doing some in-house training for the other drivers that we saw in the rough stuff at Donington last week. Got to love a Chico roll, don't we, guys?
Yeah, these are some pretty good liveries on this in this grid. I do like a lot of them.
What's your pick, Austin? We've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. There's a couple of really good ones. What's your pick here? I'd like to hear your opinion on the best livery here as we do the grid war.
The best livery?
Yes. You can only pick one. No pussyfooting about.
All right. I'm a sucker for the bright red Aston, as you can see on the left of your screen there.
That rain started already.
That is indeed raining.
So you like the Pepe, the bloody Pepes. I like the livery. I just can't stand that bloody Pepe.
Well, that's fair, but it's bright. You're definitely going to see it in your rear view mirror. I think that's the point of it.
I like the car next to it. I think it is. Is it the Aston? I always call it the Matchbox travel rug.
Yeah, it's a great livery too. I mean, there's probably plenty of liveries that are honestly artwork on this grid, but we've picked
See that one there, that green Hulk on the left? That's my
the Hulk.
Yeah,
the
I like that comic book sort of look that one's got going on. That is one of Tark's best, I reckon. Benjamin agreeing there too, I think. Not many cars here tonight for split red. I think there's only 20 on the grid, maybe 21, something like that. But on a short, sharp circuit like this, there'll be plenty of traffic, and especially in the rain in these first sort of 10 to 15 minutes. In fact, it looks like it's going to rain for at least 10 minutes. So unlike Split Blue, which dried out and had it threw some spanners in the works of a few drivers. I think it was the ones who started on dry ended up doing well because it didn't rain for long enough for the wet tyres to stay optimum. Whereas in this one, I think it's going to be wet enough that wet tyres will make it all the way through.
Yeah, I'd say they'd be doing their last minute re-putting on the wets there, because when they were on the grid originally, I don't think it was raining, so I reckon you see a few cars bouncing around. I reckon they've gone back in there and made sure probably whack on those wets.
And it is running around frantically, putting on the new tyres for all the drivers.
Yeah, cursing the rain, getting wet. A lot of water spray there, guys, so it's definitely wet enough for all those wets.
As we start the formation lap now, we got any predictions for how this race is going to go? Because the top 5 particularly are very, very close. Who knows what's going to happen?
I'm not predicting anything here. In a 20-minute race at Laguna Seca, it's split red when it's raining. I'm not predicting. You can predict anything, actually, and I think it's probably likely to happen. So how about this? The two Aston Martins hit each other on lap 1. Peach makes up 3 to 4 spots and then gets hit by Ison, and Strelnikov on debut wins. There you go.
Yeah, big one here. Tom Maloney's there in P9. Keep an eye out for him. He's been the charger. He missed the first round at Brands Hatch, and I think he's currently sitting 6th in the championship. And as we know, there is that drop round Neil was mentioning earlier in the previous split. So yeah, he could be the secret little one here tonight with this wet weather in that Porsche. Finished third last week.
Is a nice looking Bentley that we just got there. Big fan of the white and purple.
Yeah, clean cut, simple. None of these Pepe shenanigans, just a nice livery. It's a Ferrari back there with some pink on it. I don't know whether that's like an anime type thing. I'm probably not into that, but I like pink as a colour, and that one's right. And we obviously love the Chico livery. That's a big me. Righto, let's get ready to go. We're all excited. I'm still calming down after Split Blue, but I'm going to call the start of this one because this is going to be all sorts of nuts. It's very wet, very slippery, and it is split red. AP for the final time this week. Here we go. Sang in the BMW on pole up on the front left, and then Keys with a nice qualifying. Chase him down. We are green, and straight away. That's very close to a 12 metres moment. They managed to hang on to it, so we'll play on. We'll just ignore that happened. Deep into turn 1. There's a little bit of nose to tail there, and of course in the wet, tricky conditions, everyone's got to be very careful, but it looks like they're going to make it through. Keys has been overtaken by Keckley into P2, so a slow start for Keys. And Peach has done pretty well. It looks like he's made his way up into 5th, starting from 7th, so he's done nicely as well. Sang has got away very cleanly and looks to be a little bit further in front than I would have expected at this point. No, Kekas is catching him. So Keckley hanging on after a nice start, getting past Keys into turn 1 and 2. He is P2, Keys P3. Looks like Strelnikov there is in P4, and Jensen somehow has managed to make his way up into P1 from the back of the grid. That's an ACC bug playing games with us there, I'd suggest. Keys putting pressure on Keckley here up into the corkscrew for the first time. Again, the braking very tricky up here, and the camera angle spot on here as we watch everyone concertina and just be very careful. There's actually generally more action in the dry as everyone sort of sends it on each other, but here everyone just aiming for survival, and Split Red is making it through very cleanly. And everyone's gotten into single file pretty quickly too. I noticed in Split Blue when it was raining, everyone was still double, like 2 by 2 for most of that first lap. So Split Red not having any of that. And as I said, Sang getting a nice start. He'll take us away into lap 2 from the front.
Yeah, overall.
Lap for these guys. Nice and clean. Oh, here we go.
Who's in that Bentley? They're boxing after the first lap. I don't know whether they thought they'd make it on dry tyres and have changed their mind. I wonder what that pit stop's for. That's an interesting selection. I think that's Jensen actually, and that's why he ended up on the screen as P1 when he's entered the pit lane. It sort of freaked out a little bit and threw him up there. So Jensen maybe taking the dry tyres and realising that was a mistake.
Also, it looks like possibly 95 forgot to hit drive or decided to start from the pits because they're just coming up to the last corner now, so it'll be interesting to know what their choices were there.
So a good start from Peach, who we noted very astutely pointed out by Neil that he really just out-qualified himself a bit. Started at P7 and doing nicely here. He's made up a couple of spots off the start. He's putting Strelnikov under pressure, missing the apex there, going a bit deep, Peach. As we get a replay of the start. And it was Peach who actually copped the hit from Ison.
He did call that earlier. He said that Ison was going to get into Peach.
Oh, and then Peach copped another one too, so he's managed to keep it going straight and narrow and pick up a few spots, but Jesus, they made it look hard on him.
JP, the pinball wizard. We need that song going now, don't we? For the Who.
Bentley didn't seem phased by it at all. Solid as a rock, the big Bentley. Just didn't even get sideways or just all over it. Nice one, Peach. Well handled.
So we're looking at Maloney here. He's on a charge here. He's the my pick to do some
That's a bit rude.
exciting stuff, but yeah, pushing Shady very wide into the Andretti hairpin.
These two are Kovac's purple teammates too, so there's going to be some words in the garage after this one, I think. Shady managing to hold on to the position down into turn 1, but Tom certainly forcing him very wide after braking late.
Gaps are still looking pretty close in this race so far. Be interesting to see how it plays out. Still got 15 minutes left. Plenty of time for watching these things happen. So Maloney's definitely got a bit of pace and Shady at the end, though.
Jeez, it's hard to see out of that spray, isn't it, guys? It's they're earning their keep here tonight.
As we see Johnson coming up onto the back of this fight as well, making it 3 people coming into the corkscrew. Going to be very interesting with a most likely 4th with this Aston and Lamb coming in as well if they keep fighting.
Ferox is saying Ison pulled out like the average Sydney driver in that Mercedes, and probably a good observation there. Obviously a Sydney sider, Mr. Ferox.
I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
He didn't even use a blinker, so I think he got that one right.
Nah, it's just because it's not in the Mercedes. Sorry, no, wait, that's BMW's, my bad.
Hello, Jan Tully, you saucy minx. Haven't chatted to you for a while. Get in my DMs, let's have a chat.
So Sang doing a very good job out in front, doing what he needs to do to make the most of the situation of JP down in 5th position here. So Sang in second in this championship, trailing by 70 points. So trying to maximise everything he can. think he had pole position too, so I believe there's bonus points for pole as well.
Yep, absolutely. The fastest lap currently with Cooley, so I did notice that the rain is going to be finishing up in around about 7 or 8 minutes. So the last 7 minutes without rain, I still think over the last 7 minutes the track should stay pretty wet. It is middle of the afternoon and it dry out pretty quickly in Split Blue, but yeah, it's quite a lot more rain in this one. That's Tom Maloney going a little bit wide there and inviting Carlos Johnson up the inside. Another 2 Kovacs teammates. Pretty hard for Tom Maloney's gotten a little bit sideways there, but I think he managed to catch it. And then Lamb in the Aston Martin also getting through. So Tom Maloney having a rough old lap, losing a couple of positions. But challenging Lamb for that one back. He's going to have a crack down here into turn 1, I would suggest. In fact, he's got a very nice run. Oh, big cross of the hands from Tom Maloney.
As we're seeing a 10-second pen come through for car number 5, so I'd be interested to know what that one is for. I'll have a quick look and let you guys know.
Mr. Samuel. And it's good to hear also Jan Tully mentioning hope Sean Muller is going well, and we've got a reply with the Ghost. So he's taking one day at a time. So and he's watching. So a big shout out to Sean. Hope you're enjoying.
I'm hoping that no one saw that first sector from him, but he is all over the shop in this Porsche. So Ben's got the camera pointed in the right place for the action. He's,
oh, and there's a BMW.
Oh, no.
And Jay,
I'm gonna say that was Page and Strelnikov. I'm going to assume this is a Beamer spun round.
Yep.
I'll have a look in a second. And also the 10-second penalty for Shady was for dangerous driving on lap 1. So
here we go. Replay.
Where are we going?
All on his own.
Oh, he's disconnected. And he's taken out Peach. Oh, no. So he's had a hardware failure or something, because I mean, a disconnect, we've seen disconnects in ACC before. You turn into a submarine or an aeroplane and you disappear off the map. So that's not a disconnect. That's his wheel dying or something. And he's just drifted off over into the wall and then come back on track and collected Peach. So Peach is just copping wax from all sides in this race and is still somehow in the top 10.
Yeah, he obviously moved the Bentley this time around, but yeah, wrong spot at the wrong time. Here we go on board, and definitely something, either a blank screen or, as you said, a steering wheel failure, some sort of hardware. Now JP finds himself behind Ison, so let's see if he can get through this Mercedes fairly quickly. May have a bit of damage though. Lamb doing a really good up in 6th position too in the Aston.
Yeah, absolutely. The silver class driver's done nicely. So is Carlos Johnson, who is also in a Porsche. We've watched Tom Maloney struggling with his Porsche so far, but Carlos Johnson there in P5 is putting in a very solid performance. In fact, net P4, obviously only 5 seconds behind Shady Samuel at the moment. Still got 11 minutes to go, and Shady be very quick now that he's got clear space in front of him. So we'll see if he can pull that 10-second gap. But Carlos doing very nicely up there in the silver class lead. The Pro-Am leader currently Soapy in this beautiful livery. It is anime though, isn't it? I'm going to get in trouble for liking this, but I actually really think that's pretty. Pro-Am leader Zach Graham, nice work.
Well, Red's certainly living up to their reputation of giving us a little bit of content, even though some of it has been a bit rough tonight. But there's certainly a couple of little battle packs going on at the moment, which are a great watch. As we see the Aston and the Lamb here go a bit wide into T1, with Ison having a little peek up the inside, but nothing going just yet. And I'm going to say Page is going to be nursing that Bentley around for the rest of this race, where he's got the pace to push into this fight as well. We'll find out.
Yeah, Enzo's doing a great job. He's going to put a lot of pressure on Lamb. He's just got to see if he can hold off JP at this stage. PG's doing a good job though. He'll dive down the inside when he can, down maybe up after the bus stop, mate. I mean, the corkscrew. Here he is having a look.
It's a good run, Peach. Gets on the anchors later as well, and then Sort of locks up a little bit there, but makes the apex. That's a good move. Very experienced move from Peach.
Yeah, he owned the corner then, didn't he?
Yeah, the LOR guys have a bit of a reputation so far this season. Here's Peach's view of what happened to Strelnikov, and he just couldn't get past him. He would have seen that coming too. He would have just been clenched up to the maximum, hoping that he could squeeze on through there and not get taken out, but didn't quite make it. Unfortunate there for Peach.
Rain has not let off yet. It's constantly falling, so it looks like it may be with us until the end of the race. I was thinking if it did stop, we may see some times getting in a little bit faster, and Cooley's fastest lap may become a bit challenged.
Based on when we saw the rain symbol move from the 10-minute mark to the dry clouds that it is now, I reckon it'll be about 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the race when it stops raining. So I'm just going to put that there. 7 minutes and 10 seconds, it'll stop raining.
All right, anyone in chat, what's your prediction? How long until we start stopping seeing this rain drop? We've got 7 minutes from JC.
But then, as you said, like even if it does stop raining, it's certainly not going to dry up quickly enough to be butchering the tyres or making it any sort of interesting. It'll still be wet the whole way through. So, what pace we're seeing now, it will slightly improve. We'll get a bit of a dry line, and Cooley may have that purple lap come under threat. But yeah, the pace will stay about the same. The pace is good from Carlos Johnson, who I said before, who was unable to close up to Shady. He's now under a second to Shady Samuel, so he won't be making up that 10 seconds in 7 minutes, and in fact may lose it on track.
Yeah, I think he could be right there, Jamie. I think Carl has got the pace in this Porsche, got it dialed up at the moment. Taking a wider line in the Ferrari, Shady.
Car 118, that's Tarks. Tarks. Oh, Pete Viney. What's he done? Naughty boy. Give him a slap and he's just copped the penalty. I wonder what that's for. Shady Samuel also getting penalties. A couple of the Kovacs boys getting some penalties tonight. We saw Tom Maloney as well. Not with a penalty, but he was all over the place. So, and Page obviously getting taken out. It's been a rough night in the Kovacs garage so far. We're only 13 minutes in. We've still got another 40-minute race ahead of us. Here's Soapy getting all sorts of sideways. That looks like the second last corner before the pit lane. Didn't quite get that one right.
As Sean says, 6 minutes and 57 seconds he reckons the raindrops are going to stop. So 3 seconds before you, Jamie.
Well, it stopped. We can see on the symbols there that it stopped. It's still very wet out there and we've got a lot of spray, but I would suggest that the rain has stopped and that Sean Muller got that to the second. Someone go back through the replay. I reckon he has picked that to the second. Carlos getting a little bit wide there again, and that second last corner catching a couple of drivers out so far now. So that's the corner to watch over the next 6 minutes as these conditions change. Carlos is now coming under lots of pressure from Lamb and Senecas.
And you know, Muller's feeling a little bit better when he can comment off again, saying, look at what a beautiful Porsche it is. So ever a Porsche man, so obviously feeling a little bit better and admiring the Porsches out on track. And Carl Johnson in fifth, as we said, he's looking forward to maybe being able to skip Samuel Johnson with that 10-second penalty, but he's under pressure from Lamb now.
Yeah, there's a good bit of racing going on here at the moment. Doesn't look like there's any significant pace overlap, so Lamb in his Aston's going to be trying to make himself as big as he possibly can in the rears of this Porsche. Try and force an error as we're looking into the corkscrew here, but I wouldn't recommend anything. Yeah, he just smartly backs out, knows it's not the spot, but yeah, it looks like we've got a good little battle going on right here.
Carlos is just backing Lamb into Page now. Page is going to be lining up Lamb pretty shortly. I would suggest this is going to become very sticky very quickly, and in fact Page gets a beautiful run out of, he's got it done around the outside of turn 11, I think that is. I'm not great at counting, I have a track map in front of me, but I think that's turn 11. That's a great move from Page as long as he pulls it to the apex here. He does and completes it. That is an excellent move not necessarily planned by the Kovacs boys, but Carlos just backing Lamb into Peach there, and Peach snapping him up, and now Ison as well, getting into the slipstream of this Aston. So Lamb defending for his life and going very deep down the inside was Ison. Lamb prepared for that and gets the switchback happening and gives him a little bit of a tap as well, because he thought that, you know what, that was a bit rude, so you can have a bit of a swipe on the way through. So Lamb hangs on to P7 for now, but coming under a lot of pressure.
That was all a good bit of racing there. Bit of rubbing his racing. Love to see it. No harm done. Bit of a dive, but that's fine. Not too much damage. Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great stuff. I was talking before about the LOR boys and how they have a bit of a reputation so far in Split Red. A couple of them have picked up a lot of penalties, and in fact, one of their drivers tonight wasn't allowed to race, has a race ban just because of how many penalties they picked up. But Ison doesn't fit into that group. I would suggest he's got the pace and the racecraft that those other guys just don't quite have yet, as he does again break very late there into the corkscrew and pulls it up beautifully. He's got good racecraft, does Ison?
Yeah, definitely. He's currently 8th in the championship, and he's just trailing Carl Johnson, I think it is, in the silver class as well, 2nd in the championship.
Correct, just 10 points behind. Carlos 212 in P7 overall and Enzo P8 overall on 202, so it is very close between those two. So Carlos would be hoping that Peach looks like he is very comfortable holding off Ison and Lamb, and Carlos has got a nice little points buffer here in race 1.
Now the sun's really beating down onto this track now. The glare and the spray would be absolutely hard to contend with this bright sun. Everyone's drying out again.
Only 3 minutes left, so I don't think it's going to matter too much for the tyres. Might see a couple of them darting offline to cool them down, but honestly, just soldier on at this point. Obviously, if you pit by now, that's just an awful move. So I don't think we'll see anyone do that. As we see Lamb go off the track, letting Ison finally through into this corner. We'll see if he's able to fight back, but I think Ison's got the pace to keep him.
Shady Samuels actually picked up the fastest lap, probably that previous one around, so obviously getting a little bit quicker out there.
Yep, Shady needs all the points he can get with that 10-second penalty. He's going to be dropping back at least 6 positions there. All this group is all really bunched up, so that 10-second penalty is really going to hurt him.
Yeah, he's probably going to pop out after Maloney, so maybe just in front of Real, I'd say. So he might be in 9th position once that penalty comes into effect. Real will be close in 10th position in that BMW.
Yeah, I think you're right. A bit of quick maths there. I think he's, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to be very close. I would be interested to know what that is, and maybe he knows what that is. That delta.
Lamb has just got a 10-second penalty as well, so not too sure what that's for.
That is for an out of position at race start. So that is all the way back from... I think we're going to get a couple of those as we get one for Liao in number 19 as well, I believe.
Yeah, I thought I could see that on the start too. There was a car gap between him and another car. I think that it looked like he had to be up in a position there. You can just see there.
Yep, fair enough.
Should be alongside Peach by the looks of things there.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky at Laguna because obviously you've got that hairpin. Everyone bunches up at the final corner and then you have to plant it again before the race start, but you can't be speeding. So it catches a few people out. They want to stick under 80 but not in the right spot, so always something to watch out for as one of the drivers here.
Definitely, there's always, as you said, it's very busy at the start and so much going on that sometimes these little mistakes can creep in. Look at it, Maloney chucking it down the inside. He's going to be on the outside, but he's been able to make that stick around Lamb.
Nice one, Thomas. So we've entered the final lap of this first race. Sang has not been on your computer screens one single iota. He has been leading from the front for quite some time now and has also picked up the purple lap for himself. So he's doing very nicely up the front there and is going to be, not sure if he's that far behind Peach, to be honest. So that's a very nice little points haul for him. Cooley and Keys, the two Aston Martin drivers, doing very nicely as well, have also been going about their business up there. And Peach here Going up the inside of Carlos, that looked pretty simple. I know Carlos gave the sand a little kiss there, but I wonder if Carlos just let him have that and said, you know what? Here's a couple of points for you in your battle with Sang. I'm already in front of Ison, and I'm happy with how I'm going. Maybe just open the door there for Peach.
Regardless if it was a gift or not, that is Peach likely finishing this race in P4 after everything that he has been through. That is honestly quite the recovery.
Yep, amen to that.
Good drive for sure. There's some late penalties still coming through on your screen. Car 727 causing a collision. And here we go. So Sang maximising as much as he can with pole position. Oh, and fastest lap goes to Cooley at now. And then Lucas, the fastest lap is going down the order. So it looks like Lucas Keys picks up the fastest lap in third position in that Aston Martin.
Yeah, that track state really developing nicely over the last lap or two. So Keys picks himself up a bonus there, and just watching these cars come across here and seeing if any of them can snaffle it. I think these guys down in the mid-pack haven't got a chance, so nice work to Lucas there, finishing on the podium and grabbing the purple. Shady Samuel will drop down quite a few positions and elevate Senekis, Johnson, Ison, and probably Maloney as well. Lamb copying his 10 seconds for the start will drop back, and that'll put Real and Bab inside the top 10. 9.5 seconds the gap to Michael Bab. So yeah, Bab should finish in the top 10 there based on that 10-second penalty.
Overall, very good race from Red in this first 20 minutes, I think. Nothing too severe except for that poor disconnection or lag issue that we had that hit Page. But other than that, good racing all around, honestly. That was very enjoyable.
Yeah, we had some good overtakes, some solid overtakes around the outside in these treacherous, slippery conditions as well. So, yeah, all up. A very good opening race to round 4.
And then straight into qualifying 2. A quick, I believe it's 8 minutes to try and find a spot on the track and set a lap. It'll be interesting to see what times they're able to do in this session.
Or rain.
Oh.
Oh, geez, here we go.
I'm actually genuinely disappointed with this. I tell you, there's 21s all throughout this grid, and we're not going to see them. So that's a little disappointing to me. I was looking forward to seeing an optimum track here in qualifying 2, or at least a fast track into a optimum track. And seeing some really sort of low to mid 21s and a really red hot battle, especially because there's only 21 cars here tonight. There would have been plenty of space. That's the other part of this track that's really difficult, is because it's so small, finding space to qualify can be super duper difficult. So that wouldn't have been the case here in Split Red with only 21 cars on track, and they're all experienced. They'd figure it out and they'd make enough space so they could all get a really nice lap in. But not to be.
Yeah, good observation there, Jamie. But obviously these guys will do what they can in the wet. And we'll just see. Wonder if this will throw a cat amongst the pigeons in this wet weather qualifying session, or will it start to dry out just that little bit, as there's no rain at the moment. It just looks like a wet track.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a wet track. Doesn't look like it should be raining throughout the session, so it's just going to dry up a little bit constantly as everyone goes around, clears it all up.
Yeah, look at that glare, and they'd be fighting with that too. Like this time of day was bad enough in the dry. The shadows are all much longer. There's Tarks missing the apex. Oh, goodness Christ! That's one of the beamed. I think that's Strelnikov who came through there and managed to dodge Tarks. But yeah, those longer shadows at this time of day were really difficult in the dry. Now they're going to have a wet track to contest with as well. And that glare, as you said, Neil, it blew my eyes out as we went through that corner.
I reckon this is going to be a bit of a strategy game for the quicker guys, because honestly, I reckon whoever does their quick lap last is probably going to be fastest. As we see a bit of bunching up into that last corner there. Oh well, they can handle it.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that, Austin, won't we? We'll see when it gets that countdown, when there's 10 seconds remaining, we'll see where some cars are coming out of that final corner, because they should be able to get that one last lap in, and they're the ones that may find themselves on the front row of the grid.
I said they were all experienced and they'll be able to find themselves plenty of space on this track. Look at the size of the gaps on that track, man. Come on, Split Red. Honestly, look, the problem is it's such a short qualifying session. Everyone wants to get out there and give themselves as many laps as possible, but now you're all bunched up. I don't know.
Racing drivers, we don't know how to think properly once we're in the car. It's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll learn one day.
I push gas pedal. Let's go now. Oh, that's a very bright corner through there, isn't it?
If you're a spectator there, you'd be moving, wouldn't you?
For sure, yeah. So who was fast? Obviously, Sang was fast in the wet. He pulled out a nice little gap. The two Astons were very quick. They looked like they handled the conditions very well.
Yeah, Shady was pretty good. He was had that fastest lap as it started to dry out initially, so in the Ferrari. So we may see him up in the top 5 or 6, maybe.
Obviously, Sang's one to look out for. I believe got pole in the last session.
And Page looked like he had the wet under control as well. He just kept getting punted. So now in a qualifying session where there's, well, hopefully less punting, he can actually show us what his pace is.
I mean, there was nearly some collisions on the outlap, so who knows?
So the Ferrari is on the circuit now on his outlap. So has he timed this to perfection to be able to get around, get 1 or 2 laps in, and then get around just before that time goes to 0 to get the final run in, be the last car?
Well, Page is doing 129 here, so you think the wet pace is probably around about 129 to 131. So let's just call it 130 to be round. It means you've got to cross the line at 3 minutes to make absolute maximum use of the track. So with 40 seconds to go, Page is going to be pretty close to that 3-minute mark, and he's on the track map with a few other cars behind him as well. So I don't know how far away we are from the finish line, but crossing the line at around about 3 minutes is going to be the most optimum you can manage in these conditions, with the pace being at 130. 15 seconds to go. I don't know if Page is going to make it here, and that might be the cars in front of him. Car 19, Lior in the Mercedes might have. Oh, he's only coming around the last corner too, so he's not going to make it. So it looks like 5, 6, 5 and car 5. They're the two. They're the two to keep an eye on. They may be able to just pull out an absolute stonker and sneak themselves up a couple of positions and out-qualify themselves.
As you see, Page go 2 thousandths of a second slower than Sang, so the qualifying up the top for these first 2 spots is very close. As never mind, Sang puts in a banger of a lap, drops to 28.6.
Who knows what a good lap's going to be in these conditions? I said it was going to be 29s, but now we're down to 28s, and it's only going to continue to evolve. So who knows what pole's going to be? Just see which goes. Oh, it's about finding. So yeah, Zach does nicely there. He sort of jumps out of the way, but it would have cost Keys a little bit there in the last corner. But he was still, I think he had 6/10 in the bag, so he'll improve significantly.
Depending on the pace on these last couple of laps, maybe Page will be able to pull those seconds back to get that 3rd lap in.
Yeah, good shout.
As you see here, Lamb coming up to the corkscrew. 8/10 up, so there's, and gaining 1 second up, keep going. Yeah, there's a lot of pace coming into this circuit right now.
Yeah, this is just spicing things up for a good final lap or so. So most of these drivers will get another lap in. Some may get 2 in.
5, 6, 5. Across the line. 19. Yeah, 19 if they're going quick enough. Might be the last one around.
A lot of these guys now will be on their last lap. They're coming through now, so it's now or never for a lot of these drivers. As Stronikov comes up into P3 with a nice strong run.
He's bloody quick, Stronikov. This is his first race this season. He's been missing for a little bit. He's back here in the Octane Online Racing Sprint Series, and he's bloody quick when he wants to be. So good to have him back, and he's picked the right split to join too. If you're going to be fast, you want to do it in split red and really show your wares against the fastest we've got. Shady Samuel
Good to
here.
have him here to see what he's all about. But losing a bit of time.
Yeah, he just overshot the corkscrew a bit. He missed his brake marker, I'd suggest, or maybe he just locked up in the wet and he just took a little bit too much speed in, and that cost him on his exit. And then when he got out of rhythm on the exit, it looks like he's messed up the next couple of corners too. He's gained a little bit here in the last sector and gets it pulled up for the last corner.
He's that car 5 that we did say that was going to be able to get that one extra lap. So Shady has done that. So let's have a look to see what he can do now. Up into second position with a bit of a messy lap as well, you'd say, JC.
Yep, and as you said, that last lap of track evolution. So Shady's right on here, and Sang's put the cue in the rack. He's got a 28.2 on the board. He's less than a 10th clear of Shady Samuel. So Shady's red hot here for that pole position. Maloney's on his last lap and is trying to hang on to that 10th. He's lost it in the corkscrew. Has he got any more in these last couple of corners? Oh, not by going sideways around there. He doesn't.
Oh, look at this by Lucas.
Oh, Lucas is storming around here, and I think he got held up in that last corner too. Let's see if he manages to find a 10th here. And he does. So he's going to go straight to pole. And provisionally, let's see, Keka's come across. He's got one. See, there's the two Astons, 1 and 2, I would suggest. Yes, Key's got him by 3/10. Where's Shady Samuel on the track map? He's probably the one to watch now.
Invalidated. Unlucky.
Oh, no! Oh,
No. Well, I tell you what, Lucas deserves that pole position. He was speedwaying it through the rainy curve and turn 10. Flip sliding around and gets it up on a pole position. What a lap that was. And the two Astons, 1-2.
Here we have
Here
a
we
replay,
go.
I'm guessing.
Oh, it's the corkscrew. And he did that 2 laps in a row. He just carried too much speed into the initial left-hander of the corkscrew and overshot the apex. And then when you do that, your front wheels are in the air at that point. You've got no chance of bringing it back in for that second part of the corkscrew. So nice work, Lucas Keys. It is still raining here.
So watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
Hope they all practiced in the wet. I mean, they've obviously had a race already, so they know what's going on. But it looks like they're in for the long haul. As we got,
Practices in the wet, Austin.
I mean, 2 laps, get your pressures, good to go.
I think only the people practice in the wet are the guys that drink black coffees, aren't they?
Some of these bastards, they don't even train in the dry, some of these blokes. I'll give you the tip. Some of them hardly practice at all. They get a setup ready with a couple of laps, they put fuel in it, and there you go.
How's Ison? I think Ison on the 3rd row, I think it is. So that's a great job. Yes, he is. So
Nice.
in 6th position.
Ison is Hyson. That was
And
bad.
JP's starting where he started in the first race, I think. So back in the pack a little bit.
Babby's done well too.
Good work.
Babby qualified outside the top 10 in the first one and I think snuck into P10, and he's up there in front of Page and Carlos, who did very well in the first race. So that's a good qualifying session for Babby.
Yeah, very, very good. Look at the Stang just behind the Chico roll.
Soapy's up here too, actually. He's, I mean, as I said, there's not many cars. I don't know how far outside the top 10 that is. Oh, no, never mind. I think it's close to the top 10. That looks about 15, 16.
Definitely some nice liveries there, here, fellas, though, aren't they? They do a good job. Powered by BMW.
Wait, what? What?
Well, the Hulk car right down the back for race 2. Could not get that qualifying done in the wet. He had a better run in the dry qualifying for race 1.
It's Pudley back there in the Lambo, and he's joined by his good friend Pete Viney as well. So the two Petes down the back in the 2 green Kovacs cars. Unfortunately, not getting qualifying quite right. We saw Tarks have a very interesting outlap. And
Also, the photo bomber Rashidi, I just noticed, hasn't been here on the grid this round as well. We've always been used to seeing that Lambo somewhere during each broadcast. So hopefully everything's all right with Rashidi.
Good shout. Where are you, Stefano? Tell you who else is not here. He'd be loving this. The Honda is such a nice, gentle car to drive in the wet. Johnson Eckes isn't here tonight. Didn't even mark absent, by the way. Very disappointing from you, John. Not sure what he's up to. His brother's on the grid. Can't be a family trip. So there's plenty of
this
fast drivers
time,
missing. Sadly, Rackman's
40-minute
not here
race,
either.
guys, with a stop.
Corey Sweet's missing. Judy, as you say. Where is everyone? Where's old man Stu Matthews? Stu Matthews is the fastest played person on this grid, and he's not here either.
Is there a stop in this 40-minute race? I thought it was just straight through.
Negative. No stop.
Just stop. Oh, okay.
And that is heavy rain. The rain is only getting worse this race. As you can see, everyone going around their formation lap, probably considering their life choices for racing around the wet Laguna, but it is good content for us. We love it.
Hey, Sweeney. Hey, baby. So saying in P3, very, oh, who's that pulling over? Maloney's pulled over on the outlap. Tom Maloney, I think, is the Porsche without a livery. He has pulled off into the infield there, clearly having some sort of issue. Not sure whether he's going to have to get it going again. It looks like he's got it going again. Is he going to have time to catch up and retake his position? I don't think he'll be allowed to be honest. I think he'll be asking the race director. He'll have to start from the back. So that is a very disappointing... I don't know whether he's got a Windows update. Oh no, Maloney was on dry tyres, and P6 is also on dries. Oh dear, oh no. That's not ideal.
Maloney has turned that engine off. That is not a great strat.
Suboptimal. Tom Maloney. No, I shouldn't laugh, but I am.
There's, here comes Ison.
Reckon he's got, dry tyres on. Doesn't want to start the race with that.
Yeah, Ben said none of that. So there's a couple pulling into the pit lane there. So that's going to make these grids interesting too. There's going to be a couple of missing. Some very big gaps there. Even with one car pulling into the pits, there's at least 4 cars missing. Oh no, what are we doing? Strelnikov, I think he's going to cop a bit of a whack for that. But anyway, up the front, the Astons have both got a very nice start. And it is Sang, as I said, who's going to challenge. He's going to go early down the inside. In fact, he is going to go deep. And he got a bit of a squeeze there from Cooley, but he wasn't able to close the door in time. And Sang is going to sneak through. And ran it a little bit wide there too on exit, which meant that Cooley couldn't attack him into turn 2. But he's going to do it anyway. Great send from Cooley into turn 2. And he managed to... He's going to be side booth through P3, through turn 3. Goodness gracious, someone take over and spit me words out.
I was going to say, there's absolutely bucking down on these drone shots. It is very treacherous out there. And I tell you what, doing a great job finding that P2. And now defending as they working their way up the hill.
Yeah, great racing from these two. See how long it takes for them to settle down, if at all. And I reckon Keys will be looking in their rearview mirror and loving this. Just already getting a bit of a gap in the first lap, a bit of a buffer. See what their race pace is like for this 40-minute race.
I don't know. I reckon Keys will be hating the development so far. He wanted to keep that other Aston between him and Sang because he knows Sang's bloody quick. But Sang's already made the move on Cooley, and it looked like Cooley was very gentle off the start. Like he allowed Keys to go into turn 1 unabated, and sort of in doing so, in being so soft, he kind of just allowed Sang to get his nose up the inside, and Sang made it work really well on that lap one.
He sure did. Did a really good job as he's just it's sideways hanging on the back of that Bentley. As the car runs wide into the hairpin. Sometimes that's a line though, isn't it? They run in a little bit late on the brakes and then try and maximise a bit of an exit speed coming out of this corner, especially in this wet weather. As we're looking at this replay here, just keeping his nose down the inside.
Yeah, he did it well. He was entitled to it, and Cooley tried to close the door, but realised he had the overlap, so he had to give him the space. Cooley, I thought, did really well to hang it through turn 2 and turn 3 here, side by side.
Fought really hard here. He was brilliant.
Absolutely, but then Obviously, Sang now gets the inside line for turn 4, and the BMW power on the straight got good traction and made it stick. So, as I said, Keys, I think, would have been chatting to Cooley and said, hey, let's you and I just take over this race. But Cooley, unfortunately, letting Sang through, left the back door open, and he snuck on in.
Great racing by the both of them though. It takes 2 to tango. Had to give each other space, so great, hard, but fair racing. As we're sitting here with Strelnikov, currently in P6, tracing down the Aston of Lamb with Beach behind them. Nice little battle pack here.
Yeah, Dennis is looking very comfortable actually in this position here right at the moment in the top 6. Happy just to follow the Aston and having Peach just lurking in the background in the big Bentley. The BMW, as you said, has got a good traction and some good speed out of these corners, so he's be feeling pretty comfortable. Oh, but hitting the curbs there is not going to help.
That particular sausage there at turn 2's an interesting one. I've seen, like the Astons especially, are able to actually use that sausage as long as they are travelling over it in, as long as they're transferring weight from side to side. If you drive straight over it, it can cause issues. But if you're transferring weight, as you are when you go around a corner, the Astons especially seem to handle that sausage really, really well. Whereas the Ford, I couldn't use it in the Ford. It was very unhappy. I don't think the Ferrari would be very happy over there. I don't know what the BMW would be like. The BMW is generally pretty good over most bumps and curves and stuff, so Sang might be able to use that inside sausage at turn 2.
I don't know specifically about the BMW here, but normally yeah, it can chew curbs quite nicely. It's a pretty forgiving car if you set it up to be, so I'm sure it's not too much of a concern.
Oh, someone's dead at the corkscrew, by the way. 565, not sure who that is. I think it's Lior. No, Lior's 19. My fault. Sorry, excuse me.
I think Lamb just sort of checked up into the final corner here, and this is given a run now for the BMW of Strelnikov. And he's made that stick up into the Andretti hairpin. Can he hold on to? He's got coming back now is Lamb. This is the type of racing we've come to expect here in Split Red. Oh, as they give a bit of a touch.
Oh, Peach. Strelnikov's got Peach again. It's happened again.
The pinball wizard has spun around again under no fault of his own.
No.
He's going to have bruises from pillar to post.
Who said sim racing was fun?
No. Oh, and I think Babby seeing a bit of red there for his fallen teammate has just gone very deep in battle with Strelnikov.
Oh, talk about deep. There's a car, I think it's a Mercedes in the back there, drifted right off into the sand. More like a quicksand out there at the moment.
Here we watch from Page's view.
Again with the clench, he'd be clenching maximum. Just please let me through here.
He's just looking at that little go fast speed boost, didn't he, in race 1 and in race 2, just to try and clear that little tap.
Meanwhile, Sang P1.
Oh yes, indeed. He's put in the purple lap a couple of times in a row, and then he's made a move on Keys. We'll have to go back and find that one. I don't know whether Keys made a mistake because he's already dropped over a second to him. So Sang clearly in control here in these conditions.
These conditions are also almost monsoonal. It's just going to get heavier and heavier before the race ends here, it looks like. So these guys are going to be mopping out some water out of these cars after the race. And here we've got a replay of what's going on here as they're fighting hard.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Looks like Strelnikov just went a bit deep, ended up bouncing off the Aston, I believe, of Lamb there. Just lost it with a bit of ACC physics, but just couldn't stop the spin. Page, the unlucky spectator in the moment.
It also goes back quite a few corners back as well. As I said, on our final corner, I think it was Lamb, sort of got the braking a little bit wrong, which gave a run for the BMW, I think it was, and yeah, let's open that little battle up. Is
this what happened? Oh, it is. This is how Sang has gotten through. That's the second last corner. Keys in the Aston has gotten that all wrong, and he's managed to keep it going on the straight and narrow, but that has allowed Sang through. Keys staying with him. We watched before, he was about a second and some more down, and he's another 3/10 on that lap. So Keys unfortunately dropping to P2, and he's going to have to really put in a shift now if he wants to catch back up to Sang.
As Ferox says, yeah, killing the championship leader twice in a row. So, yeah, you don't want to come into a round as a championship leader by the looks of things.
Little bit unfair there. Like, the first one obviously was a hardware issue. Like, it's clearly something out of his control there. And then the second one, he was engaged in battle with Lamb, and the two of them side by side through the corner, not really either of them at fault for that incident. So Peach obviously super duper unlucky. But yeah, I'm not putting the blame fairly and squarely on Strelnikov for either of those, really. Oh, speaking of Strelnikov, there he is.
New rally driver here at Laguna Seca.
There's Tom Maloney, who had the issues on the outlap, has just put in the chat that his engineers chucked a hissy fit and didn't give him the wet tyres when he pulled back into pits either. So,
what did you expect? They're not here. They expected no pit stops. They've gone home, Tom. There's no pit crews. There's no pit stops.
Hey, they saw qualifying was wet. They thought it was over, and they said, "We're going. We're not staying here no more."
That's what
they're at home with their hot chockies already.
No, that's a new ACC bug, though, if that is indeed the case. The game has started him on dries. We've seen that happen before, where the gods will put you on the wrong tyres for some bloody reason. But the fact that he's now gone in to put the correct ones on, and there's no mechanics there, what's happened there? That's a new one. I haven't seen that before. Strelnikov looks very shaken up now. He's taken all sorts of sausage over that last lap. He's got airborne on a couple of occasions. He's dropped back here in front of Bushell and Viney. I tell you what, Viney started at the back of the grid. Thank you very much. And is now up into P10. Also, what's happened to Peach, who's back there in P11? Oh, no, of course that's what happened to Peach. Strelnikov killed him. Thank you. I knew that.
Oh, trying to create new lines at the moment, BMW.
As we see the powered by BMW McLaren of Bushell coming through in P9 at the moment. Pretty good race from him so far.
It is very good job by Bushell.
He's bloody good in the wet, here's Hamster. Oh, it was his birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Hamster. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Mark Bushell had his birthday.
Oh, running wide here.
I've absolutely cursed him straight off the road there. Got him.
And JP will thank you after the race for that nice, easy position gained. Up into P10 now, so will we see another good fight back from JP like we did in the first race? Where did he end up in that first race? Was it up in the
P4?
4? Yeah,
after
so
the penalty for Shady Salmon, yeah.
Good chance for him to climb up maybe in the top 6 here. It's going to be a bit harder. Well, he's got Lamb in 5th position, so, but there's still quite a bit of racing, 30 minutes to go. Just under that. I wouldn't bet against JP for getting himself up in the top 5.
Well, who's he got in front of him? No one's slow. Viney and Strelnikov. I think Viney will probably let him through here. Yeah, that's just Viney very nicely letting Peach through. Nothing to see here. That wasn't a mistake. That was a planned and well executed let through of Senecas, I would assume.
Incredibly polite.
So there's one.
I'd do.
Strelnikov. You know what's funny is they actually have history. Kovacs and Strelnikov have some history going way, way back. So the fact that he's just rejoined and killed Peach twice is just, it's so funny. So now he's got to try and pass him. And then he's got Carlos Soapy. I tell you what, Soapy up there at P6. How about that? He's absolutely having a banger.
He sure is. And who else was having a banger? As we just saw there, the AM leader in the Mustang, Clark, doing absolutely brilliant in these wet conditions. I reckon that'd be a bit of a handful, the old Mustang. Well, it's not an old Mustang, the brand new Mustang in the wet.
As we see Bushell go off in the same corner 2 laps in a row. That curse real hitting there, JC.
It was the same corner too, wasn't it?
Yep.
He's having trouble with that one. Oh, look at the spray here. Can't see shit.
How's the name of the team here? Voodoo Motors. Awesome. following the Chico roll of Mike Reel.
Oh no, that looks deep.
No, it's very deep.
Just giving Reel a little bit of a how you going there on the way into the last corner, and Reel's done very nicely, to be honest, to pull that up. That's one of the LOR cars there who was allowed through, but then is obviously blue flag, so he's let them go again. But yeah, Mike Reel's done a very good job there to manage to keep that going straight. Charles will be sending him an apology.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh, this is a replay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at from that driver's POV, looking through the spray in this level of rain, it's just you're driving using the force, to be honest.
And Mark's showing some pace in that McLaren, isn't he, right at this stage? Looking fairly comfortable.
Yeah, well, you say that, but he's gone off twice in a row here at this particular corner. So let's watch him here as he goes around and tries to navigate this corner for the third time. Is he gonna? He's kept it on track this time, Hamster. Yes, beautifully done.
No commentator's curse by myself. So I'm nil at the moment. You're 1, Jamie.
Oh no, up ahead.
Oh.
I don't know if Reel's got into the back of Tarks there, or if Tarks made that error of his own fruition and Reel's just appeared on scene. I was actually just about to ask. The two Kovacs cars either side of Mike Reel. How do you feel about a Chico sandwich?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Just put Chico roll.
Just put heaps of sauce on it, you'll be right.
A Chico roll in between 2 slices of white bread. I'm not sure I'm keen on that.
Try anything
No.
once.
Try anything once. Spot on. Yep, I'll do that.
As we see Johnson catching up to the back of Graham here. Both having real good races. Just honestly kept it clean, kept it out of trouble. It's paying dividends for him at the moment.
Yeah, Cole, the leading Porsche in 7th. We're going to see if he can get the better of the Anime car in front of him.
Oh, that's a missed braking marker by the length of California's coastline, Mike Reel. He has just forgotten to brake there at some point, I'd suggest. And
I think
poor old
Mike's probably been dabbling in the wines in the wine country here as well, maybe before this race.
Oh, no. Oh, Carlos has fallen right off the back here. We were just watching this battle here between Soapy and Carlos, and I was going to say, and I'm glad that I didn't, because it would have been another curse, that Carlos is going to put him under pressure, Carlos being the silver class driver, and Soapy probably a little bit above his pay grade here, but he's doing very nicely. And in fact, Carlos has dropped off the back, so Soapy will be enjoying a little bit of free time there for a little while. And here's what happened to him. He's just run wide at the Mark Bushell corner.
That corner is difficult at the best of times, let alone when you can't see.
So it must be a thing here, the Team Split Red too, that they want to start changing the traditional names of some of these corners to their own names, don't they? I think we've seen a little bit of the action like that at Donington last week as well. We're calling the LOR corners and things like that. So we've got the Bushel corner here at Laguna Seca already.
As we saw Chico there have a huge moment, almost keeping out of the fence. Shouldn't be too much damage, but lots of time lost there. Unfortunate.
All going from bad to garbage though for Mike Reel. He's had a couple of bad laps in a row here now, so he finds himself back in P13 with a significant penalty as well. So it's going to give him a fair old whack into the end of race 2. Just keeping an eye on the front battle. Those guys have spaced out a little bit, but it's not too much. Lucas Keys still within 2 seconds. He's within striking distance. So with 23 minutes to go, Sang obviously driving very nicely. He's probably not going to make a mistake of his own accord. But if he manages to find some blue flag trouble, Lucas Keys just keeping him right in his windscreen. As is Cooley, he's not too far behind either and currently has the purple lap, so he's probably got a bit more pace in him. He's only 2 seconds back. And then Shady Samuel, also only 2 seconds back. So those front guys just cruising along beautifully up there.
Yeah, Samuel's been having a good round here at Laguna Seca. Oh, and saying that, he's just getting the rear stepper now. Dancing it around the circuit here. Zach Jensen in position 15, starting at the back of the grid for this one.
Tarks has got Mike Reel behind him now too. This is the two who had the Barney up into the corkscrew. This is how Mike Reel picked up his 15-second penalty. And down the inside of turn one, a little bit of argy-bargy. These two have got to sort themselves out before the end of this race because they're getting into each other's business all over the place. Mike opportunistically up the inside of turn one, didn't quite make it stick, and then he had another crack up the inside of turn two, and this time manages to make the move stick. So Mike Reel up to P12 on track, but again, he's now got 30 seconds of penalties, does Mike Reel. So, yeah, no, he's not holding on to that spot for much. Oh, no.
No, that's not very easy to take that one, but, you know, he'll keep moving, see what he can get out of this one. Obviously, there is that drop round as well that they can do throughout the season.
Just had a quick look through the penalties, and he's got 15 seconds on the first lap for causing a collision somewhere, and then obviously for his other incident there going into the corkscrew. So unlucky, not the best of race from Mike Reel, but we all have those days. Not much you can do.
No, that's it.
Making me hungry, Chico. That actually sounds really good. I really just want to go and get yourself a Chico roll now. 5.65 with a drive-through for track limits. Bloody hell. That's hard to do on this track because you've got to be carrying so much speed in the sand. So and in the wet too. So that's a bloody good effort to get a drive-through.
Honestly, that's just impressive.
That's impressive at this point, yeah.
I was looking at camera 2, their car out very wide, coming into that final corner. And it looks like Hewley's just dropping off from the back of Keys now, but Keys is still staying in touch of Sang, the leader, as you were saying. So any little slip up by Sang, and as you said, once he starts getting up to some blue flags, he's still got a couple of laps before he will start getting amongst some of that. So
as we see Strelnikov just have a small moment coming out of that corner there, lost the rear, had to gather it back up, lost a couple of tenths to Carl Johnson here. Eases off the pressure just a little bit as he comes into the next lap. And also not really catching up to Graham in the Ferrari ahead, so great pace from him today.
yeah, doing a sensational job, Graham in that Ferrari. Taking it to the Pro-Ams at the moment, up into P6. Vinny, his closest competitor, all the way in 13th place overall.
Now we got Page closing back in on the back of Strelnikov, who's had a couple of moments.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Yep, fair enough, just let him go. Very polite from Strelnikov there. I think he's realised he's not having the best day, and Page has got the pace. Understands had a bit of a mistake before, so all fair.
Dennis,
Play on.
yeah, Dennis has been going all right though. I thought he could have maybe given a little bit more cheek there. Oh, talk about that. Carl Johnson, hold on, my friend.
Good catch.
It's like he's riding the zebra.
Yeah, maybe Strelnikov felt bad for all the garbage that he's caused Page. And as I said before, I don't necessarily think it was Strelnikov's fault, but he just felt bad. And he's not in the championship battle. It's his first race this season, and he's not going to be making up that many points, even with, I think, all the wins. He still couldn't do it. So I thought, you know what, Page, I'm very sorry. Here's the spot for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Johnston is absolutely manhandling this Porsche around the track at the moment. Counter steer everywhere we look.
He's in the right, Austin. This is some good driving.
He's very bloody good at this too. He's we're actually talking about this at Brands. He loves a bit of slip angle, does Carlos Johnson. And yeah, so managing these conditions, well isn't the word I'd use, but he's very quick. But it's hard to say he's managing them well with that much crisscross in the hands. I don't know. No, look, he's going straight and narrow. He's doing better than all these blokes with penalties too, by the way. So he's managing it well.
Yeah,
Can't complain with P7.
How many red squares can we get on by the end of the race here? We've got 4 already for penalties.
Well, there should be a 5th. Actually, no, sorry, of course the DT would be served. There was a 5th. Maybe we can get that one back. Who knows?
I'll tell you what else is good for Carlos here is that poor old Ison's had a race to forget. He's back in P18th, so this will probably be his drop round. Carlos, if he can manage to stay consistent and his drop round is not such a drop round, he's going to be very much in the box seat for this silver class win.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ison. I believe he was the one that was on dries after the opening lap, so I had to pit straight away. So
Yes.
no chance for him on this second race, unfortunately.
Who else is missing? We've had a couple of drop-off. Babby had a good qualifying, and he's not here anymore. I don't know why he's dropped out. We obviously heard that Tom Maloney's had the issues with the pit crew, so they've pissed him off, and he's had enough. There's a couple missing.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a... just trying to get to the end for this race, keep it clean, try not to get into too many accidents. As you see here, a little replay of this possible battle pack that might be forming with Pete, Shornikov, Johnson and Graham. Although keeping the distance at the moment, pace is fairly similar, no one making any huge mistakes.
I wonder if some of the drivers that aren't here, maybe it was a planned drop round, maybe having an extra week break before next week's round.
Are we doing a race next week, or have we got the week off because of the endurance race?
Endurance series, I'm not 100% sure, but we are Red Bull Ring for round 5, so whenever that may be.
So there's something that someone can go look up, because generally we have the week off. But then obviously we had the server issues as well for, I think it was a Masano race, we had the server issues. And we had to push everything back a week. No, when the Ford was released, sorry, it wasn't server issues. When the Ford was released and all the bloody updates happened, we had to push everything back a week. But has that taken up that week? And in fact, we are going to be doing Red Bull Ring, followed very closely by the 8 Hours of Monza. Not sure how that'll work. Oh, Carlos, he's bloody sideways again, but look at that, he just catches it and carries on.
And Red Bull Ring is another short circuit as well, so that should be interesting with that full grid too. So it should be a good round to make sure you tune in for that one.
We haven't had an endurance race in ages, so I'm super looking forward to that. They're always good days in the commentary box too, and the stewards have a bit of fun too. So that 8 Hours of Monza, as you said, Neil, looking forward to that one.
Absolutely pumped for that one.
Look,
I'm assuming this is Johnson going sideways through every single corner that he can. I'd like to know what his rear tyres are up to at the moment.
He's going through right-handers with the wheel turning left more often than not.
He's just got to be careful though. He's got Carl coming up now. I mean, not Carl, we got JP, sorry. Catching him ever so, well, I'd say quickly actually.
I'm going to say, with the amount of sliding that he's been doing, I reckon it's actually going to properly start putting a bit of graining on those tyres, and I reckon he might be struggling for the pace in the last 15 minutes of this race.
Yeah, I think so. And tell you what though, if I was JP, I'd be a little bit nervy seeing that car spinning in front, thinking, oh, am I going to be part of this pinball again? He's had enough of it. And up into position 8 though, with 40 minutes to go. So can he keep climbing up the order? Well, if he gets past Carl Johnson, he's not too far away to trying to bridge the gap to Graham. He's
I reckon
about 3 seconds, isn't he, right now?
Carlos will let him through here, I think. He did so in the first race. Whether or not it was intentional, it looked pretty intentional in the first race. These two being teammates, obviously. And Carlos now, with a really nice gap to Ison, will be feeling pretty comfortable just letting Peach through here once he catches up to him, I think. And then we'll get to see him, as you said, make a charge at Zach Graham. And so he's not far up the road. They aren't really necessarily closing that gap super quickly, but you would expect Peach, very high quality driver, very fast, he'd make it up in 13 minutes and then put him under some pressure. And then a 10-second penalty to Lamb will probably see him grab that one as well. So the best he can probably pinch here is P5, Peach. And I reckon he's got it in him.
Yeah, I think that's what I called about 15 minutes ago, I think, when we were talking about where he may end up. So we're talking about the top 6, top 5 as a possibility. So that 10-second penalty for Lamb may just help that eventuate. Here he is, down the inside, as you said, JC. Playing nicely. Carl just lets his teammate through.
A bloody good night on the predictions, actually. I think you've nailed a couple.
I do it with my eyes closed.
Oh! Very good. All right, who wins Red Bull Ring? Call it early. We're
Call it
very early. Yeah, oh yeah. No, you're not allowed to see the weather. You're not allowed to see who marks attendance. Let's call it early.
All right, I'm going to say Cooley. There you go.
Soapy's
In the
pulled in
Aston.
the pits here. Oh no, what's happened? Oh, it's a drive-through. Oh no.
Oh, there you go.
My heart and soul is on fire for poor old Soapy, who was having an absolute banger of a race. He was well entrenched inside the top 10 in what is a very, very fast split. He was way in front in Pro-Am, and he's managed to pick up a drive-through. That's very sad. Oh, it's because he's taking too... No, it's not because of this. No way. Is that track limits? No way.
Meanwhile, did Page and Strelnikov have another incident? Because they were both off track behind him as well.
I think they were avoiding. I think.
If also stop go 10 for stop go 30.
Speeding in the pit lane
Oh,
is surely what that would be. I didn't see. Look, to be honest, he looked like he pulled it up. When I watched him go into the pit lane, it looked pretty normal. So I don't know whether he just disengaged the limiter, or is it because it's a really, really tight entry?
Here's a replay to see what happened. I think they may have chose. Oh no, he got up on the curb as well and airborne. Peach.
He was probably watching what Soapy was doing and forgot to control his own car. So here we go. Let's have a look at Soapy here. Chuck it back on him. Oh, that's too fast. Yeah, that's too fast. We didn't even see him cross the pit line, but that was too fast. Oh, no.
Is that going to get him now amongst with Law after that as well?
Oh, I reckon that's even further with a stop go 30. That is an unfortunate turn of events for Graham. He was doing so well.
Yeah, I've got tears in my eyes. That's very sad.
So the blink of an eye from being up there very, very high and dropping right down. And so we say it's never over in Sang. I'll tell you what, Keys is slowly bridged that gap. It was out to about 2.8 seconds. Now it's 2.2.
59 kilometres per hour as he crossed the line. Thank you, Benjamin Hignett. To be honest, that's not particularly egregious, but it is clearly enough for the stewards to give him a very, very firm whack. Poor old Soapy is still in the pit lane. Wood, 34 seconds behind, is probably going to catch him. But yeah, Soapy now at the back of the Pro-Am pack. Womp womp.
So Vinny Ip, currently 13th, the unlucky 13 number. See if he can get out of there. Fair way up the road. Here's Leo. Oh, look at this. Nice camera work by Benjamin.
You're not wrong, Stronikov did follow him too.
Yep. Closest thing to a sympathy spin.
They're bloody joint at the hip, those two. Stronikov and Page have been in each other's business all bloody night long. Get a room. They're still following each other around.
Cannot separate the two at all tonight, no matter what happens. Disconnects, gear, equipment failures, everything. Right next to each other, through it all.
What's the bet their fastest lap in this race is exactly the same? Literally never happens.
Never happens.
Man. That's like winning the lotto tonight, isn't it? What's it up to? It's some big amount for tonight.
Oh, did it jackpot again, did it? Is that the Powerball one?
No, I think so.
We've
I don't
we've
know. I haven't seen the results or anything.
We've got a work syndicate going on. Every bloody week we don't win, we go back into it with the winnings that we do get. And we're for some reason everyone was very excited about tonight's one, so let's jackpot it again. But we're all going to quit our jobs if we win. Jeez, that was. So Carlos is back in front of Peach here. He's going to have to let him go again. He's going to be sick of letting Peach through here, to be honest. And then that 10-second gap to Lamb is in fact a 10-second gap. So with 7 minutes to go, we said that Peach was looking at sort of P5. P6 is maybe going to be on the cusp. He's going to get past Carlos again. And Carlos, as I said, is probably sick of letting him through. He might say, nah, Stuffy, you've got to get me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see a bit of racing between these two now. Let him through once, screwed it up. Now do it, you're on your own.
Spot on. Good shout. Tom, go tell Carlos not to let him through. We don't want to see him hold on to that.
Give us some more content.
Buggy your championship, Peach. Stop driving into sausages. He does love a big sausage. Does Peach.
A big bratwurst or something like that. Big German one.
Say it again. Bratwurst?
Is it bratwurst? I'm not too sure. One of the big German sausages.
Is the Bentley German? Nah, it sounds English.
Too English. Here he goes. They will soon see if he's going to let him up the hill here after we get through Bushel Corner.
He's just got himself a corner. That's funny. Oh, deep under brakes. Oh, Carlos also a little bit deep there into the second apex of the corkscrew. I'll tell you what, Strelnikov is just watching this occur in front of him and saying, all right, I might have some of this shortly. 6 minutes to go. And I reckon these two are lining up for a battle here now.
Yep, looks like we've got some racing going on.
I think so. If you see Carl actually just running a little bit deep going into the corkscrews, definitely was trying to keep his boot into it and stay in front here. So, you know, he's not making it easy for him down the front straight here. So I think it's game on to what we want to see.
Up the front, those gaps are still unchanged. Peach has got it done. Hang on, turn one. There you go. How about that? Carlos, I don't know whether he went wide there intentionally. I don't think he did. As we were talking about, he's put in the effort there and he's just gone a bit deep. So...
Oh, and look at the BMW alongside him here. Oh, just ducks behind.
Got a bit of a wiggle on out of the exit of that corner. Couldn't quite pull up beside the Porsche, but if he keeps the pressure on, looks like Johnson's having a bit of a struggle at the moment.
He's got the bloody pressure on. Benjamin Hignett showing you the best angle of this battle in camera 2 there. Strelnikov right up inside Carlos's business. Peach has
Something happened
already...
to Keys as well, because he's dropped now nearly 5 seconds off the lead and he's only 1.8 seconds in front of the other Aston Martin of Cooley.
I'm going to bet that's another sausage.
Right, so I did just say that he was holding that 2-second gap. That's out the window now. Now Cooley's probably right up underneath his bumper and he's going to say, hey, can I have P2? That'd be nice.
As we can see there, the gap in camera 2 between the two Astons for second and third. Definitely a lot closer than what it has been so far all race. Got to keep an eye on this defense from Johnson as well, trying to hold up Strelnikov. 4 minutes left. What are that? About 3 laps, maybe 4, depending where the leader is.
Oh, Kasapi's in the Twitch chat. I don't know whether you got the Twitch chat, but he says Ball Wars or something for the South African. Nice one. That's very good. Very sharp from you.
He's on it.
Absolutely.
He knows the sausages that JP likes.
Bore Wars. W's F's. Border Wars. No.
I think we'll have Gazapi in the com box next week and he can actually pronounce it for us.
Yeah, good shout. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Keys again is wide there in the second last corner. He looks like
camera 2 is where the action is at the moment, guys.
Managed to keep the foot in it and stay in front of Cooley, but Cooley just be sniffing around here. So you keep making these mistakes over the next couple of laps, and I am just going to come up here and pinch P2. Senekis is another one to watch too. He's obviously not one to watch on track. We won't keep the camera on him, but that 11.5 second gap, can he reel in 1.5 seconds to Lamb over the next lap or two and get a sneaky P5? So we'll keep an eye on that delta. No, there'll be no pronunciations of Cooley's team name, Tom Maloney. Oh, look at this. Ooh, Border Wars. It is. Border Wars. These are great conditions. This has honestly made this quite a fun event to watch. Laguna probably not great for overtaking and certainly not great for side-by-side battling. But these conditions have just really spiced us up. They've made it plenty fun to watch.
Oh, it sure is, definitely. And the rain does it. That's most of the times as well. There's always a lot of action. Pace is always a little bit down, but the action is usually on the up.
Yeah, I always think wet racing is the best sort of racing. Always adds a little bit of drama, a little bit of spice to the event.
Now, Bushel's just trying to hold on here. Actually, Mike Reel's got that 30-second penalty, but on track battle, Mike will be doing everything he can do to try and get in front, I reckon. Without incident, I would say. But always a racer will always want to try and get that one position, even though he knows he's going to be copping that 30-second penalty at the end. Here he is down the inside. And he does make it move on to turn 6, now known as Bushel Corner. There's a replay of the BMW.
Oh, Strelnikov. Oh, bump.
Ah, unfortunate. Bushel Corner's a tricky one.
We've got Austin now calling a Bushel. We got everyone going to call Bushel. When everyone does their own offline practice, they're going to come into turn 6 and just mention Bushel Corner.
Looks like Liao's gone off at Bushel Corner as well there. Yellow flagged for a second.
Where are we? The leaders are coming through the corkscrew, and we've got 50 seconds to go, so they'll make it around. We've got one, maybe, lap after this, and then we'll be finished up for Split Red. Speaking of Bushel Corner, that's claimed another victim. Oh, no, that's the one we were watching. No, that is Lior. Again, we were watching that one on the track map. It is a pain in the ass corner. It is super difficult in the dry, in peak optimum conditions. It's such an uphill, blind apex left-hander, and then it's difficult in the cockpit. There's a lot of drivers who drive with obviously like the bonnet cam. It would probably be even harder, I would reckon. It's such a blind corner.
Yeah, it sure is. And
Meanwhile,
it's a little bit spicy at the end here.
Yeah, Bushel's put the move back on Mike Reel near the end of the race.
Reel going to hang on to any positions here, but no, actually he will. Yeah, there's a lot of gaps down there that are sort of 15, 13, 14. So, yes, 30 seconds is a fairly significant penalty, but he is probably fighting to hang on to as much as he can here. So, no wonder he's got the elbows out.
Looks like about a P14 at the moment, which isn't awful. Only losing, 4 points, 4 spots by the end of the race. Could be worse with a 30-second pen.
Definitely.
Well, Ison's gone off in...
Oh,
no. That's also a Bushel Corner. That's another one. He's gone over to the inside there.
I'm going to say it would look similar to Strelnikov's. Spun on the outside across to the inside.
Someone sitting on the corner with that camera is getting plenty of value for money.
So only 2 more corners to go for Sang. He's coming through turn 10 now. He's got the final corner. And no one touching Sang after he got in the lead from Lucas Keys.
GG, mate.
Well done.
Very nice drive. Made the move stick on Cooley early on, and then put Keys under enough pressure and got him off line as well. And then once he got past Keys, didn't look back. He had about a half an hour of shift to put in, did very nicely, and comes across the line in P1 in race 2. Keys and Cooley, the 2 Astons, 2 and 3. Cooley picking up the purple lap. Cheeky little bonus point there, that's nice. Shady Samuel, P4, and Lamb, P5. Interesting to see what that gap is to Senecas, whether Senecas did reel in that second and a bit that he needed to sneak up into P5. Carlos Johnson, not quite. 7/10 misses out by, does Jean-Pierre. So he stays in P6 in front of Carlos Johnson in P7. Strelnikov still managing to hang on to P8 after his escapades is a pretty good effort. And Bushel in P9. Now that battle for P10 is interesting. Reel will drop right out of that. Clark probably does as well, which may elevate young Pete Viney up into P10. So he'll be pretty pleased with that, depending on where he finished. I can't see the delta there, but that'll be a good result for him if indeed he did get it.
I think he has, I think he'll be pretty chuffed about that. So that was a result for him. But I think, as you said, I think Sang actually set his race up in that turn 1 when he was able to get down the inside of Cooley, when Cooley sort of was a little bit, I think he was napping, to be honest, left it open a little bit. And if he could have protected that inside line, maybe he could have protected Lucas for a little while.
Here we have the final results. So we got race 1, Sang P1, Cooley P2, Keys P3. And then moving on to the class championships, Johnson P1 for silver, followed by Ison, then Mike Reel. Pro-Am, we had Graham, Viney, and Chalmers. And in the Am class, Clark, Herbert, and Jensen. For race 2, your overall winners, again, Sang, making it 2 for 2 tonight, followed by Keys, then Cooley. Silver class, we had Lamb, Johnson, and Bushel. In Pro-Am, Viney, Liao, and Graham. And finally, in the Am class, Clark, Jensen, and Herbert. Great racing tonight, everybody. That was very entertaining.
3 votes to Kunos. Unlucky Tom. He's had a good season too, Tom Maloney, so he'd be pretty disappointed with tonight, but hopefully that's his drop round and he comes back stronger at the Red Bull Ring. That is it for the Oceanic Splits. Round 4 done and dusted. We've got, of course, North America tomorrow around about lunchtime, our time. Always nice to chat to Nick Amoni, who's... is it Amoni? Amon. I can't remember. I got it right once and he was very happy, but it's bloody tough. Anyway, North America tomorrow. Other than that, I think we've got the Monza race next week. Certainly got qualifying on Friday night. Are we?
Yep.
Are we broadcasting qualifying?
Oh, I think we are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are.
I believe we are.
They
Yep.
want to try and get anyone with the liveries. They're trying to see if we can just try and pump a few liveries in before tomorrow night's qualifying. Because it is going to be broadcast and then obviously free to update deliveries before next Saturday's Monza 8 hours.
So that's the next thing on the schedule. We will see you all tomorrow night for qualifying for the Monza 8 hour, which is next week. But until then, my name is Jamie Comboy, joined tonight by Austin McNeil. Thank you, sir. Nice filling in from you. Very sharp.
Cheers, JC, and yourself, Neil, as well. Great comments from everyone here. What a wonderful night.
Awesome. Likewise, JC, always a pleasure.
Best on ground from you, chat. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.